Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up and the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Aw, shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day. It's a long day.
Still say in that place. You can yell it in this neighborhood, no problem. You can walk around going, like, hey, Louie, I fucking love you, cuz.
There's like 12 noodles in that bag if you want 12 noodles.
Oh, thank you.
Rigatoni.
I only take 14 noodles, so I don't take 12.
We're going to have to do a 10-minute podcast. I can't sit like this. This is atrocious. Are we live? Is
We
this
have
it?
it.
You can sit on Louie's lap if you want.
That's how I got the gig.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, you know,
All right, I'll
the
just go
sets.
erect.
Yeah.
We
can put you in a chair, but it's more uncomfortable. That's the problem.
Well,
No,
oh, you mean
this is
that chair? Yeah, but then you'll also be taller than
taller.
No, this is great. This is
You'll be like
perfect.
a head above.
It's not that uncomfortable. You want to sit here and I'll sit there? I don't mind.
No, we'll switch.
Yeah, we'll switch
halfway.
midway.
I'll switch with you after a little bit.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you can
I don't
sit.
believe you, but
Yeah.
Good reason.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
I thought that was all. I thought we had it. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, we were rolling. Were you rolling already?
We were rolling.
Oh, wow.
we
So
got
maybe
it.
we just got all that. Well, you got to bleep, though.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Which word is bad? Bleep.
I'm going to say that's the Holy Trinity right there.
Back in the day, we put over bleep.
The bleep was...
I can't.
Nobody liked bleep.
We are bleeping this, right?
No, we're in Bay Ridge. Bay Ridge, you know when you're on bass? You ever play when you're on bass? Yeah, when you're on Bay Ridge, you can say it. It's fine. It's encouraged.
That's right.
It's actually how the
And
council
this
people
is only
get...
on Bay Ridge Internet.
This is Bay Ridge
Bay Ridge
cable access. Yeah.
They got their own ISP.
They do. This is only going into people who still have antennas,
Yeah.
living rooms.
Guys, I just started a movie. This is my chance.
I know. This is we're trying.
Yeah. I finally had a chance to make it.
Joe, the world's changed, right? You did a movie. It's 2022. You're in my old apartment, and we're doing a radio show.
It's too late.
Yeah, it's a little. The world's changed.
Live.
You're star of the movie, and you're sitting on an ottoman.
This is brutal. Is this what an ottoman is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Dutch art.
For your feet.
Hey.
It's for your feet.
Oh.
And listen, I sent from overseas for that. I got that from the Netherlands.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
I saw it on the intranets, and I was like, it's nice because it had like the wooden table on top of it. And then I came and I was just like, this is just some dumb
Yeah, but we have those here, you know.
I know. That's why it was stupid of me to do.
We've got a lot of those here.
Yeah. I liked, you know, I was very into feng shui, and this place used to look like very woody, wood orchid, you know, wood.
I think you said Woody Woodpecker.
Woody woodpecker.
Woody Wood.
Yeah, it was like, you know, wood, like old wood, like very. And then I just realized it just looked like a West Elm, so because that's where I got the rest of the stuff. I got everything from West Elm except for that. That came from
I've
the
gotten
Netherlands.
furniture from there. It's good.
Have you really?
Yeah. I have a coffee table that you just take the table like this when you want to eat.
Oh, I know that one.
Comes right up to your chin.
Yeah,
You just eat while you watch while you watch TV.
that's a good way as you get older because you can do applesauce soup right
Yes.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't eat stuff that you can't eat solid.
yeah.
I'm close.
Yeah, so you guys made a movie. This is incredible. I watched it. I told you I was having an anxiety attack while I watched it. This movie is about anxiety. This is
We
kind
got
of
halfway through. It looks like.
well. This is Jesse's watch.
Yeah.
I watched it at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I was watching it with him.
Okay, it makes me feel because it did hurt my feelings for the folks at home. It's just paused in the middle, and I'm like, all right, yeah, that's like a half.
So go on though. You
That'd be
saying
funny. We're like, they're walking back from the restaurant. I got
Yeah.
10 minutes. Let's fucking peruse through this thing that they fucking slaved over during the pandemic. Did you shoot this during the pandemic?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
big time.
So was DePaulo like, fucking, if I see someone wearing a mask on this, I'm
Yes.
quitting this movie?
yes. He was like that.
But he
yes.
did. But they were wearing masks and he didn't quit. He's a lot of talk, you know.
yeah.
But when the rubber hits the road, he's okay.
Yeah, no, I like to tune in. I'd like to tune into a show when I just want to feel a little more liberal. You know, when I want to just be like, remind myself, like, I still have some empathy. I'll tune into that.
Yeah.
Now, his lines, his lines, did he put those in the script? Was he
No,
like,
no,
I got
it
some
was written.
suggestions?
I wrote. I'll take responsibility. For
Okay,
those.
so
Yeah.
because you know him well.
No, he doesn't. I mean, I used to be roommates with him, but no, that was for the character. He actually doesn't say that word a bunch.
Right.
He doesn't really. He thinks it a lot, and he says worse words.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
But
low on the
for him,
scale for him.
it's like saying freaking or something. Like that. No, I don't know, whatever. But I wrote them because it was for the character most important.
Yeah, he's one of the funniest comics I've ever seen. One
Yeah.
of the best jokers. Remember, we saw him at Caroline's, And you don't remember? Oh, you were those were your drinking days.
Yeah. What did we do? Did we hang? Was I opening?
We hang. Yeah, that was the night. Yeah, we hang. We got some toots. You remember?
Wow.
You got AIDS that night.
No, I don't even
I
remember.
can't imagine you
Yeah.
doing coke.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So weird.
No, I didn't do coke. I never did coke.
No, you don't. We saw him at Caroline's, and he almost got in a fight with someone in the crowd. And then,
Oh,
like,
that sounds
They
right.
had to the cops had to escort the person out.
Oh wow.
Are you a
God.
sober guy or are you a drinker still?
No, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I'm more of the obsessive mental illness. I don't have the. I can drink once in a while, and I'm cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
I'm not a fucking gay guy like Joe.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I can't
Yeah.
even do what every man could do. What any man could do that.
I mean, I could. I would just shit all over the carpet like a puppy.
Let me just say this right off the bat. You're a good actor, and
Thank
I was
you.
surprised.
Oh,
I know you've been on a lot of big shows like Are You Garbage and shit like that. And I don't know what the Wawa twins told you, but if they didn't tell you that, you're a fucking great actor, dude.
Oh, thank you very much. I
mean, I was
appreciate it.
blown away by your acting.
Oh, geez.
Like, you would have not got this shot if you were not friends with Louie. Nobody would ever know that you had great acting.
No,
No.
not in a million years.
Yeah.
If I was casting this movie, he wouldn't have played lead and he wouldn't have been in it.
Who would you think you would have, like, if you were doing this with, like, a Hollywood studio?
Timothy Chalamet.
Fuck!
We were
It's exactly what he said.
That's what I've been saying.
Jesse said.
I agree. I don't want somebody's going to see this.
Yeah.
I don't cotton to that fella.
Okay.
Oh, I think he
an actor.
rules.
I don't like his acting.
So you thinking more like Michael B. Jordan or?
Yeah, something like that.
That's what the studio's thinking.
Yeah, that's what
The studio's definitely.
BIPOC. Give us a BIPOC, baby. I don't know. That's a good question. Who would have played him? I mean, I'm from a different generation, so young
Well, he has
people
to be
now.
young.
Yeah.
I'm relatively young. I mean, I'm 40.
Yeah.
Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal was on our list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
This could have been
Jake Gyllenhaal, I could see him doing it.
Yeah.
Or a great comeback movie for Ashton Kutcher. Just kind of like an indie where they go like,
God.
wow, this kid's not just the punk guy. He's got some fucking soul to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is based on your story.
Yeah.
You're kind of like a fucking mess who you can't go into a diner and tell the people that that's the wrong order.
No, yeah, that's hard. I mean, it's funny. I was just at a baseball game yesterday, and there was like a little kid. He was like 7, and he had to come down our aisle, and then he tapped and was like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And I felt so much empathy for him because I'm like, that's something I couldn't do as a kid or even an adult. I would just hold on to my piss because I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't tap this guy and ask him to move.
No, I mean, the movie it's about his anxiety, and it's about anxiety in general. And I mean, it's the backdrop of it is anxiety. But then when we started working together, like we would, the wardrobe guy picked some clothes for him that were all wrong, and he said, "I don't know what to do because the clothes are not good." And I said, "What did you say to him?" He's like, "Well, I told him it's all great and thank you." And I'm like, "You need to tell him you don't like it.
Yeah.
You're the producer. You're the writer of the movie." He goes, "I can't. Because what does he have to do? He has to go get other ones." I'm like, yes, that's how it works, Joe. So there's a lot of moments during the movie where I'm like, I am dealing with a severely anxious person
Right.
in order to make a movie about his anxiety. But you did, you try to meet it with love, and
But I'm also much better. I'm a much different person than when we met. Have you found me to be like,
Well, you're a
overly
fucking
anxious
movie
and
star
all
now,
that
yeah.
recently?
He's gotten a lot. He has gotten a lot
I mean,
better.
I haven't had
He
a-
wants me to say he's gotten a lot better, so I'll be happy.
I have gotten a lot better. I haven't had a panic attack in years, and I would argue recently you've had more anxiety than me. I would say in the last 6 months.
Do you think so?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
weird thing for you to say in front of friends. You haven't said that to me in a long time.
Well, don't you think? I feel like I'm not so anxious now.
You've got this
I'm
only.
just sitting here. Look at this.
He's 100% right. He has been more of like a
Thank
calming.
you.
He's been a calming influence. Well, what? Don't be ashamed of your anxiety. What are you ashamed of it?
I'm not ashamed. I'm just saying I've improved.
You want to acknowledge that you've improved.
Of course.
That makes sense.
That's anxiety.
That
that's,
is anxiety.
That's making
Don't
No,
they,
that's
can
not
they tell?
anxiety.
Can they tell I'm not as anxious
That's
anymore?
ego. That's ego, not anxiety.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
you. Of
No,
course,
he
you
has.
improved.
He has
Yeah.
grown up a lot too as a person.
Yeah.
But we
in the
toured
recent years.
together the
Yeah.
first time. I was having trouble swallowing
Yeah.
your cum.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
But then I
see how he's-
added more to my diet. There were thinning, tea tree oil.
I like the way he phrased that. We toured together. See, it's fucking big movie star now. It's like
yeah.
we toured. I was like, oh, really? Is co-headline you and Louie? You guys tour together? You doing like a
We were on tour together.
double-headed
Were we not?
monster thing?
Were we not on tour
Yeah.
together at the
We were
same
the
time?
kings of me.
The kings of
Yeah.
Irish or Jews. Are you Jews or Irish? I'm confused. Your name's Jeff. You're a Jew. You look like a Mick. You're a Mick.
Yeah.
You got a drinking problem. I'm not sure about if you have a drinking problem.
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
So
get
what is
down.
it? Is it Irish or Jew?
I'm
Who, the
Irish,
character
Jewish,
or me?
both.
Yeah.
I got both. I got Mexican, Irish, and Hungarian Jewish.
Wow. I want to build a wall against you.
Yeah.
It's too many immigrants. Too many waves of immigrants that we didn't want.
I'm not Jewish, but when we went to Poland together, I was opening for him. I was doing a shorter amount of time in front
To
of
be
him.
clear, I was on tour and he was a support.
Yes. He was paying for my flights to go to Poland.
That's right.
And we went to Auschwitz, and we went. There's a book with all the victims, and there was several Joseph lists. And I've always felt connected to Jews because I'm neurotic and show business,
And you look like
Woody
one.
and
Yeah.
Seinfeld, and I'm in the Holocaust book, so I might be. I don't know. I just might be. The, you know.
Yeah,
No,
that
he
was-
does have a nebbishy qualities.
Oh,
What?
totally. Yeah. Very.
What?
You guys are both like Jewishy Irish guys, which is
I think
interesting.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. And I thought, like, is the character Jewish? Because the character's name is Jeff. That's a Jew name.
Jeff is pretty Jewy.
Yeah.
We didn't do great work with the names because Kevin is Nick DiPaolo is so Italian and his name is
It's
so
an
Irish.
Irish name.
Yeah.
We fucked up on
There's
the
not
names.
an Italian in the world that would call their kid named Kevin.
No,
There's not one.
no.
This is my fucking kid, Kevin. Kevin. This is fucking Kevin. This is my other fucking son. Oh, Larry.
It's interesting. This name, like Brendan, is a name that only Irish people have. Like,
Yeah.
Brendan is like an Irish name.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
this is-
Jeff it couldn't be Jewish, but there's many Jews that aren't Jeff.
Yeah.
But Brendans are almost
But what
exclusively
made you bring
Irish.
Brendan up?
Well, I'm just thinking a
there a
first
Brendan?
name Kevin feels like an Irish person's name. You wouldn't have an Italian guy named Kevin.
No, I suppose not.
Nor
That's
Brendan.
what we said before. But yeah,
If you meet a Brendan, he's most likely Irish.
Yeah. Your anxiety has gotten better. It could only go up when you're so agreeable that at one point a girl told you that she actively had herpes and you continued to have sex with her because you felt bad. You didn't want to make her feel bad. Did you know that's the story of how he got herpes?
that's how he got herpes.
Yeah.
I never heard the actual story of how he got herpes.
Well,
I assumed that he rubbed his penis against a herpes sore in a vagina of a lady.
That's a good guess. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, you
that's
nailed
a
it.
part of it.
But what happened before is a girl he really wanted to hook up with.
Yeah.
And at that point, he wasn't the big star that he is now, so he wasn't getting the amount of puss that he is now.
Yeah.
So, but he's married, and so you blew it. But anyway, so he wanted this girl real bad. But she says they're hooking up. They're in Boston, where
Yeah.
all you fucking people catch herpes.
where we all came from.
Yeah. And she's like, I just need to tell you that, you know, before we do this, I have herpes, and, you know, and he's like, that's cool. And he went in raw daddy.
That's right.
He's basically a commercial for don't drink.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking man.
But that come from the booze or from anxiety of like not wanting to say, like the same thing that makes you go to another restaurant instead of asking your order to be corrected.
Well, and now I would do that. I've improved. Thank you, Alan. Thank
Now
you.
you would say, I'm not fucking your dirty pussy, you,
yeah,
you herpetic whore.
disgusting whore. No, she was. I wasn't even that drunk. It's just I had a thing for her, and she told me after we were already like amorously involved, and at that point I was like, I'm not gonna not have sex, and so I just I went with it, and it's kind of fun to have herpes.
Was there, did you
What's
try?
the fun part?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to worry about herpes.
It's like getting COVID. You're like, I got the antibodies.
I got it.
Yeah, once in a while it flares up, but
Yeah, it's not so bad.
yeah, you're actually the reason why I got into a relationship at that point, because it was true. The way he described the herpes outbreak was
Yeah.
so frightening to a person who suffers with anxiety
You
that
wanted to be monogamous to
I
be
wanted
safe.
out. Yeah. I just got into a relationship with another comedian, and then she surpassed me and left.
The first. Oh, I
was-
remember
who was
that.
it? Yeah.
We all went to comics together.
Who was
What do you mean, comic? You said it like school.
Comics.
the
club. Remember
we
we
went
did the
there to-
weekend.
With an X, the one
We
on
did
14th
together?
Street?
Yes. With your girlfriend.
We
at
did the
time.
show. We did a show.
Yeah, it was the three of us.
Who was the woman?
Jesse May Peluso.
Now you remember we all drove up together with your her
She
little
got big?
dog.
Who is that? I never heard of that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, not that. Well, she was on a show called Girl Code that kind of took off a little bit.
I
I
never
mean,
saw
not to taking off. That's funny. He's like, yeah, she got a little big. Louis like,
Right. There's Louie.
how come I don't
fans,
see her? Well, because the only people you do see are like Chris Rock, fucking
Yeah,
a few
that's
others.
all.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. You're in an orbit. You're in another orbit.
We had a whole road
saw
trip
this
together.
guy.
You don't remember that? It's funny that you
Oh
remember
yeah,
things
well,
and I don't remember
It's
things.
not comics.
Oh,
I
is
thought you
that
were talking
her?
comics
Yeah.
New York. You're talking about when we went.
Oh, but the comics.
Yes,
It was
yes, of
comics.
course I remember. Yes,
It was comics at Foxwoods. We went
Yes.
to Foxwoods together.
yes.
And you guys got in a fight because you were trying to have a threesome and you each thought the other one blew it. Do you remember that? Can I tell that story?
Yeah, I guess you can.
With
Oh,
a guy
geez.
or a woman?
My wife's gonna watch this one.
Oh, this was a long time
It's
ago.
a long time ago, though.
Long time
Yeah.
ago. This is 88.
Yeah, we're trying to. I wanted to hook up with this guy. No, it wasn't a guy. No, it was a joke.
Oh, jeez.
It
I
was
feel like I
another
blew it.
woman?
It was a woman. It was a woman, and yeah, and then Jesse May, I think, went and I don't know if she wants this in here, but it's in.
Oh, God. Sorry. Take it all.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
You guys were throwing the fucking racist epithets out there. And I brought up
but
a
that's
story
not
about
hurt
sex.
any specific person's
Yeah.
feelings.
As
Yeah, I
the
guess
great
not.
Rick Glassman says, edit it in. So
Edit this all out. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
This
So
is
the girl,
Stepford.
she went and talked to the girl, and then something happened. It didn't go good.
Yeah, but I was like your son.
I was,
drunk
I had
and you
two-
guys were arguing. I was like, "Ugh."
I had a couple come on to me to have sex with the two of them, and then I said no, and they got in a fight. I was a young comic in Boston, and a very beautiful woman, like just more beautiful than any woman I've spoken to since or before, came up to me and said, hey, do you want to have a drink with me? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you're really cute. No, I want to take you home. Like just redirect things. And I was like, yes. And then we went to the bar, and there was this guy waving, and she said, that's my husband. And she said, anything we do, he's going to be part of it. And I said, no, I don't want to
that
do that.
changed it. Yeah,
And I left, and then they were outside of the place screaming at each other. And he was going like, well, you're the one that wanted to fuck the comic. And she's like, but you told me to talk to him. And they were screaming at each other because they blew it.
I have a couple friends who do it. I love the personality of the guy who goes like, yeah, okay, like the guy who like is like so who's into that, like letting the husband watch. Like, yeah, I get it, because he can only say it that way.
Right.
When she's like, my husband's gonna be a part. He's like, yeah, it's okay. You know, it's got to be
fine.
like, yeah, there's something in there where he's just like that. That's fine with him. That's part of his kink.
Wait, just watch.
Yeah, no, the guy who's getting hit on, the one who would say yes,
Right. Yes, I agree.
has that
to
in
this.
him. Yeah, like he's so charged up from the adrenaline rush, he just would
Right.
say it like, you could just hear the
Well,
way.
you know, if you're on the road and you're horny or whatever, and if a woman's like, "We're gonna fuck," and he's like, "Great," and she's like, "But I'm gonna have a steaming pile of shit in my hand the whole time." You're like, "I can work around that," and she's like, "We're gonna go to the supermarket. You're gonna go to jail after." I'm like, "All good. All
I
good.
could do
Let's
it,
just
yeah.
go. Let's go.
Husband watch is not. It's not bad.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
yes.
care who's watching.
Yeah, it would be weird if he's not jerking off.
Yeah,
That would be weird if the husband
Just
watches and
standing
doesn't.
there, just
I'd be fucking him going like, "Are you gonna like you just watch?" It's a little
just
weird, dude. Like,
Studying.
get in on this.
I tried to do a bit about it. It's always so weird to me, the idea of a threesome like that. And then once the guy leaves, the conversation with the couple just being like, all right, do you want to order some spaghetti?
Yeah.
Or what do you want? Should we get Chinese? That's the weirdest part is the trick. Because sexually, you get weird and dirty, but the segueing back into like,
Yeah.
I got to call my mom and whatever.
Well, and also the couples arguing about blowing a threesome is like when it's like the conversation you have with yourself when you have a woman like ready to,
Right,
and you
right,
blow it, and then you
right.
hate. So it's two people sharing something that's usually one person.
Right. That's usually a lot of self-talk, but there's actually someone to project that onto.
Yeah.
Going like, you blew it. No, you fucking blew it.
Yeah.
I just had the opportunity to play for a minor league baseball team for a night. I didn't play, but I dressed and took BP, and I was on the squad. And then we won. They won. And we did the handshake line. You know, baseball, everyone slaps. And I was going, good win, good job. Anyone want to fuck my wife? You're welcome to it. And there was a Latino catcher, the only Latino on the team. He was in front of me, and he went, like he did this face. Like the camera can't see. He went like that. And then the guy behind me went, that guy will do it. He thinks he's serious. And I was like, oh. And I had to be like, oh, I'm just kidding. But you could see everyone else laughed. And this one guy was like,
Maybe he gets that sometimes.
I think he might get that. Well, I mean, if you're gonna get a bull, you want a Latino, I think.
Yes. Yeah, for
Or
sure.
black.
Yeah, for sure.
Eight
You don't want
black,
regular
Yeah.
white.
one
yeah.
black.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely for sure if you want that.
Because white, I can just do that. You know what I mean? You want an exotic.
Slightly disappointing, yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie was like a strong rebuke of January 6th.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
That was it.
Did I not read it?
We were watching the January 6th happen, that show, January 6th. And we were like, we got to do something about this.
Yeah.
But we can't come right at it. So let's couch it in it. Let's bury it in a story.
That's what I got out of it.
But if you look really carefully, that's clearly what it's all about.
yeah.
Did just do a screening with a Q&A, and one of the guys asked, he's like, it's called 4th of July, it's about independence. Is this a meditation on America's role in global?
You can't, you can't just, you can't make a movie anymore. You can't be they got to find out like, what's the meaning,
what it's about. Yeah.
which way you vote, who do you hate,
Yeah.
in any way, have you liked anything Trump's ever said? In any way, have you liked anything Biden said? You got to. It's just part of the culture now. You can't just have a movie about an anxious guy who can't knock up his wife.
Yeah.
Because her eggs are dried up, and you wanted to, and you're a former drinker, and you hate your family, and you go home. This was kind of like Meets the Parent. It was a little Meet the Parents. I would say Meet the Parents.
Ouch.
Wow, that's a great movie.
I know, I'm only kidding.
Shit.
I didn't like it
Right.
much. You know, though, there was an original Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
That I saw because Emo Phillips, very funny comic.
Yeah.
Of course.
Emo is from somewhere outside of Chicago. And there's these two filmmakers who made a very, very low budget movie called Meet the Parents. And they showed it to Emo and asked him if he could help them get it distributed. He sent it to me and I watched it. It was one of the funniest things I ever saw. Anyway, they ended up going to Ben Stiller, and he said, well, I'll just make it again. So he just made it again.
That's the story.
But the original is, to me anyway, my taste, way funnier. Way funnier.
Wow.
It's really odd and strange and funny. And but this movie isn't really. I mean, that movie's like it's like After Hours, but with a family. Like it's just a crazy K-hole of psychos.
Right.
This movie's about people that you could see in the world. So
Right.
like really,
No, the characters are realistic.
Yeah.
Is this a reflection of your family? Did you get calls from your parents going like, "What the fuck?
No, my parents have been
I love
very-
you, Joe." What the fuck?
I'll give you a hug.
Yeah, I give you a fucking hug. I give you a fucking hug, you cocksucker.
No, but my parents have been very supportive. But it is similarities. I think as a New York artist, alcoholic, sober, I do go on vacation with my family, and it's
He's
a big
anxious,
family.
yeah.
So there's many things like that. But my mother's not. The mother in the movie is like a sociopath.
The
My
mother
mother's
is
very
really came from my head. She's like, because I grew up also around Boston, and all the Boston women, I used to love the way they talked. And so I made this woman who does her, and they make little speeches where they tell you, you're out, I one of the women that it came from was, I drove a cab in Boston for a while, actually in Newton. And the cab, it was a taxi with you had a radio.
Wait, when was this?
Back when I was like
70s,
18, 19.
This was the 70s,
80s.
80s. They
How
white.
old do you think the guy is?
No, I'm just trying to like. No, I'm not. I'm just distracted by
I'm
like.
not hurt by people.
Yeah.
Think I'm older. It's
12?
okay.
No, but I'm just distracted by the like white taxi driver. Like
Yeah.
You might have been the last.
you might have
one.
been the last one, man. That's
Well, in Boston.
yeah. Because when black people say they can't catch a cab, it's racist. I'm like, I don't know if you can blame white people for that. When's the
Yeah.
fucking last time you saw one of those? It was a Martin Scorsese
There's
movie.
very
That's
few
it.
white cab drivers in New York.
Yeah.
Boston, I don't know now.
Yeah.
But it was a radio cab, so they call you. There was a dispatcher.
You're right there, Joe.
And
You're in the seat of honor.
I'm like Tony Pena.
Your leg falling asleep?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying? I almost fell off my stump. I'm ready now.
You want to switch right now?
No. You don't want to
wanna
switch.
switch with me?
You won't last
I'll sit
5
there.
minutes
No,
with me.
Louie, you
watch
sit.
Come on, take
You're not going to
gonna
be
be able to sit.
I want to finish my fucking cab story.
I don't think
Take
you
a
can
seat.
contort that way.
You're not going to be able to sit here.
Watch me.
You'll be crippled.
Watch me.
Yeah.
The problem with it. The problem was that it's not high enough for this kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why it's an ottoman, not a chair.
Yeah.
Because you can't drop your legs down. You're like this. You're squatting, but you're not quite squatting.
Yeah, no.
It's horrible. I agree.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
No, this is no good for you.
This is a fucking nightmare. You guys are such assholes.
no, I'll
Forget
switch
it.
back. I'll switch back.
No, you stay where you are.
We'll just rotate. Then
I'll
you-
sit
I don't
there.
mind being higher than you, though. What's wrong with higher up?
Let me sit in there.
Just
I'm
move-
the
No, no,
host.
hold on. Let me
Yeah.
move some of your.
Be careful with that wig. I made a lot of money
Tchotchkes.
on that wig.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
This is just.
And it's like 100 degrees in
work.
here.
Oh god, the lighting. Just
There we go.
changed.
You got to let.
There's
He's
a little
doing.
cord in there. Yeah, it's all right.
He's got a vision. He's
this isn't
he's
bad.
got a vision for it. All right, unplug that shit.
I got it.
I like it better off.
You want it off? Because
I don't care.
Here we go.
Oh, this is bad.
It all started with you moving, not being
I
happy.
didn't move. I almost fell.
There's people in this country that don't have seats, Joe.
I know.
I like
Oh,
what
look
you're
at
doing
that.
there.
Yeah,
Yep,
look,
there you
there it is.
That's nice.
go.
That's nice. This is better for both of us.
That's like getting a seat on the subway app when you got a long ride. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened in the
you're
cab?
driving a taxi.
1978. You're
1978.
9.
Me and Peter Boyle. And the dispatcher was a lady named Marion. And Marion lived, I never saw her out of it, in this little tiny booth. And she just filled it. She was like Jabba the Hutt. She must be dead, so it doesn't matter anymore. But she filled it up with her body and this gray sweater and thick glasses, and she was smoking Moors and just putting just ashes and fucking cigarette butts everywhere, and she had all these little pieces of paper and a microphone, and she'd go, 20, go to Hartford Street and pick up a gentleman going to that Logan Airport. And then if you'd say to her something like, she'd say like, take 95 and go, why do you want me to take the highway? Yours is not to wonder why, yours is to do or die, like that kind of thing. She would say sing-songy things to don't get your druthers in a bunch because here come, just all that. So I loved ladies like that my whole life. So that's his mother came from that.
That's such a New England woman too. They're like so like caustic and like confident.
Yeah.
In like a very unflattering way.
Yeah, Brooklyn has nothing like that. There's no dominating mothers with bad accents.
Yeah.
They're very elegant and quiet.
Very similar. You're right.
It's just a different sound, but it is the same exact kind of woman.
Yeah, same type of woman, that working class kind of fought. Yeah, I fought.
Yeah.
Fucking, let's watch the socks.
And I was working there, and at one point I got a job at some TV place, and I quit. And she said, where you going to go now? And I said, I got a job in television. She goes, you're not going nowhere in television. Like, she was just like, you're not never going nowhere. You'll be back here. That's the kind of person she was. And that's also very Boston, is everybody needs to stay lower middle.
Actually, one weekend at Laugh Boston, one of the critiques I got from someone in the crowd was that my sneakers were too nice. And he said it to me earnestly. And I laughed when he said it, and he did. That's that Boston thing where they don't smile back.
Nah.
I'm going, you must be joking, and going like, no.
No, dude.
He was like, you can't.
Nice.
He was like, the reason the show would have went better, you can't dress like that. Your sneakers are too nice.
No, he thought you were putting on airs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a true story. I was like, what? I was confused by it.
No, I've always felt that way with comedy. It's like if you dress too nice, they're gonna be like, "This, what's going on here? What the fuck is this?"
That's funny because Jerry Seinfeld, the first time I opened for him, he gave me the precise opposite advice.
Yeah.
Because I was this Boston kid, and he was from Long Island. He didn't have Seinfeld yet, but he was already headlining everywhere. So I opened for him, and then we went to dinner. And I said, do you have any advice? And he said, get some shoes. What are you doing? Because I had just shitty white, just dirty sneakers.
Yeah.
Get some new shoes. It's the only thing. That's what you're wearing is all anybody. That's the only thing you have to buy.
Yeah. It's funny how our mores are kind of reflections of our era more than anything, right? Because if someone said
I'm not sure what mores are.
Like customs are like,
You mean they're of the time,
of
rather
the
than
time,
more than the place, maybe.
Right, like, because he's from an era where it's like, it's a show, put some on.
You dress up.
Yeah, like someone said, like if I said that, if you said that to your opener, like, hey, man, the fuck you doing with those?
Yeah, why don't you just button it up?
Yeah, why aren't you wearing a tuxedo? They'd be like, Jesus Christ, this guy's out of it.
That'd be fun to do to a comic that's opening for you.
That would be fun.
I require that you dress up.
Nick DePaul and I had an idea years ago when we were touring together.
Yeah.
He had an idea that, because we would go to the mall all the time, because all the comedy clubs are in malls, and it was kind of a funny idea for like a web show where each comedian picks out the other comedian's outfit for that night, but you can't go too harsh because he's picking your outfit.
That's
funny. It was a pretty funny idea, because what all we'd do all day was walk around going, what if you wore this tonight?
Yeah.
Which we still do.
Sure.
It's still entertaining. Imagine if I wore this tonight.
Nick had a great description, very poetic, of what the road is like. Like, he told me this is a day on the road. You wake up, sometimes the woman you fucked is still in the room.
Also a long time ago.
Yes. And she wakes up, and you're wide awake, but you're pretending to be asleep.
Yeah.
And she kind of, ruffles you and stuff, and you just, You're wide awake. And then she finally gets dressed and sits on the bed looking at you for a while. And then you go, hey. And she goes, hi, I guess I'm going to go. Oh, no, you want to get breakfast or something? And she goes like, no, you don't have to. And he goes, okay, good night. And then the sound of that metal door in a hotel, that click is like the greatest
It's like Ferris Bueller.
yeah, it's like your mom left. She bought it. She bought your fake 6 story, and you like watch cable and get room service breakfast. So, but his story of the day was like, you go to the mall, you get a frozen yogurt, you buy it, maybe a hat at Lids, and you walk around. You just and then you watch 3, maybe 2 movies in the movie theater. You go back to your place, get dinner, and then you go at 9 at night. You go to the club. The club owner says, "How you doing?" You go, "I'm all right." You realize you just spoke to the first person of the day.
It's very true. That's
your first
true.
conversation is just that.
Yeah, that
You
is
just
so
do your
true.
fucking show.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a glamorous life.
No, but
Yeah.
I think if you use it right, it's what makes comics good, because your life should be that vacant. That's why I think the phones have hurt comedy.
Yeah.
And I think a pot is not good for comedians, because you need to be living that tediously.
Would you say pots?
Pot.
Pot, marijuana. Wow, pot.
Yeah,
Talk
pot.
about eras.
I'm a very old
You guys want to
man.
smoke some pot?
Yeah, some
Grass.
grass.
Grass
some
is
You
grass.
guys got some grass here? I got some marijuana.
Yeah, some shit. But if you spend that kind of empty day when you get on stage, it's all you got. So you put more into it, I think, a little bit.
You're probably right. Yeah, because you couldn't like have a rock star day and then like because then that way your show is the best thing that's happening.
It's the best thing that's happening. That should always be the case. But so because people, and now that you have the whole cornucopia of the world on your hand, the internet, it's just too much to stimulate yourself with, and you sit there, get angry at 50 different politicians and stuff, and just a waste of your brain. And then by the time you get on stage, you're exhausted.
So what's the solution? How do we do we kill Bill Gates? How do we stop it? Do we turn the internet off? Do we let Chinese take over? What do we do? No more internet. That's ironic though, because you're kind of a captain of the internet. You're kind of one of the first guys.
Second lieutenant.
Yeah, you're a fucking second lieutenant in there.
Yeah.
You're Lieutenant Lollipop in there. And you put your album on your website. You put your shows on your website. You put somebody else's special on your website.
Without the internet, I would have nothing now. I really would, because it's my sole outlet for my work now.
But
Right
even
now,
when
yeah.
you were on the come up, you were also
I was
Yes.
early on.
Yes.
which was amazing. I always loved that about what you were doing,
Oh,
because you
thanks.
kind of took control of your career in a sense.
Well, it was a place that you didn't have to ask. You just put it up there. I liked that. And you could go direct to people. And I still think that's what's good about it. I think there's great things about the internet. That's not what's... And there's no answer to how to fix it. Folks have to not look at their phone when they're trying to do something else. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just self-control. And it's hard because it literally is dopamine addictive and stuff.
Guys, this wonderful episode of Long Days with Louie and Joe is brought to you by Butcher Box. Butcher Box is the best. This is an absolute no-brainer, like I say every time. Do you hate going to the supermarket all the time, getting meats? You know what? This cuts a lot of time at the supermarket. You have the meats delivered straight to you. Organically raised, ethically raised, no antibiotics, no hormones. High quality meats delivered right to your door in a beautiful, like professional frozen package. Guess what? Unbeatable value. Less than $6 per meal on average. Absolutely delicious. Get your favorite cuts of meat. It's incredible. The one we got was like lobster, steaks, burgers, chicken, pork chops, whatever. You know, if you like a protein with your meal for dinner and lunch, go to Butcher Box. The quality's better and it's more convenient. It's a no-brainer. So go to butcherbox.com/fumes. Use the promo code FUMES to get 1 pack of free bacon in every box for the life of your membership, plus $10 off your first order. Ooh, this is what you call a recession special right here. They are giving it away. That's butcherbox.com/fumes. Don't forget to use the promo code FUMES to claim this incredible deal. Guys, you cannot be surfing the internet anymore without a VPN. You got to stop these people from tracking you, from trying to get your information, from trying to find out what you're doing. to what what little naughty nude pictures you're looking at, whatever it is, you have to have a VPN. ExpressVPN is the best in the business. ExpressVPN. They have almost 100 different server locations, so you can gain access to thousands of new shows. They let you change your location online. That's another great thing with the VPNs is you can access all these shows that are only available in certain countries because it scrambles where your location is.
Right.
So for those two reasons, I mean, you can't. Do you have ExpressVPN? You got it. Jesse's got it. So it's like you can control where you want Netflix to think you're located. Because sometimes it'll be like not available in this country, not anymore, and also you're not being tracked. You don't want people following you, right? So the blazing fast speeds, compatible with all your devices, phones, laptops, media consoles, smart TVs, encrypts your data. They've added the benefit of encrypting your data so you can browse the web securely. That's the point. So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth. Hide from all these trackers. ExpressVPN.com/fumes. Right now. Don't forget to use my link. ExpressVPN.com. VPN.com/fumes. Guess what you get? Extra 3 months for free. Baby, these are recession specials. Take them while they're hot. ExpressVPN.com/fumes. Get that 3 free months right now. You cannot continue to not have ExpressVPN. This is a stamp of approval from Yannis Longdays.
It is. That gum sales have plummeted since iPhones because nobody's staring down anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the line at CVS, everyone's looking at their phone, so gum and candy.
Oh, anything point of purchase is probably getting hurt now.
Yeah. People are looking at Instagram instead of like, I could use some gum.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think a lot of things.
Uno card games probably are hurting.
I think also porn.
Yeah.
Probably.
I used to
I
pick
haven't
that up
paid
right at the supermarket right by the...
Right.
Yeah.
It would be Trident and Playboy.
Yeah, Good Housekeeping magazine. A lot of things are getting hurt now.
I still don't get how they're making $1 because I haven't paid for it, and I haven't paid for porn since I was a kid at this point.
Ads, right?
Yeah.
Well, but I never... Do you see ads on the porn you watch?
Just ads for other porn.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
ads to try to get you on the site.
They must make money somehow.
I think OnlyFans does well for them.
Sure.
But other than that, there's no porn stars anymore. They're not making the money that they used to back in the same thing with show business in some way. It's kind of disintegrated.
It is diluted now, which is in a way kind of good. Like there's no big star that everybody loves.
Yeah.
There's some that are carried over that they don't want to let go of.
Yeah.
Like Justin Bieber is like 46 now.
Yeah, he's like a man now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fucking guy, he does not get unfamous.
No.
And the Kardashians or whatever they're called, they stay as the same level because no one has come up behind him. There's been people for pockets of groups. Some folks love this, some folks love that.
Well, you know what it is? I think part of it, too, is it's like there's not an emphasis on quality anymore. It's just like recognition. So it's like if you have a lot of followers, you can't lose them. So if they're always in your face, they don't, because they could just do something on their phone. Hey, man, and then they're like, oh, she's still there. It doesn't matter like, oh, I don't like watching. Nobody's going like, I don't like watching it anymore because they only watched it for 10 seconds on the toilet anyway.
Well, yes, and also some people are famous because of they love their work and they put it out and folks love it, so it's incidental to their work. I mean, everybody wants to share their work. Nobody wants to make music and just keep it to themselves. Some people do. There's probably some guy out there making the best music in the world and he won't let anybody hear it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But some people do it as like a secondary thing. Like, all right, I do make this great music. I love my crap, but so I'm famous and it's okay, right? But then there's other people that really just want attention. The comedians also. There's comedians that just want people to see them and filmmakers and actors. And when Twitter came along, you could see a lot of those people stopped working. They just became social media people and they don't put work out anymore because they don't have to get attention. As long as they're out there being talked about, they became that. I mean, there was also shows like Paris Hilton, all that stuff where it was just like, I'm famous, so watch me, instead of I'm famous cause, so now you're interested.
Yeah.
That kind of started that, but there's a lot of people that went the other way. They did work that was admired, so they were famous, but then they went like, why am I doing this work? I'm famous.
Right.
And I can keep it up through being, by saying things on Twitter, I guess.
Right. No, that's very
they
true.
Want to be liked,
Yeah, no, it's very true. It's very true. It's taken precedence over like the work. It's more about like
For
everyone's
some people, not all, of course.
but a little bit for all of us because it's the best way to get out there now. So like we've all kind of become like our own publicists.
Yeah.
We're all conscious of our brand. We're all throwing up crowd work clips. Pretty soon I'm just going to go on stage with a GoPro cam and just be like, what's up, lady?
Fuck you. Fuck
Yeah.
you. What do you got? And they're like, no, I just want to hear some jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you hate me. Come on. Tell me how you really feel.
No, I feel that way sometimes where you're like, you have to do the podcast. I really resent the podcast. I'm enjoying this very much. But it's like you do spend so much time on a podcast, and then you got to email it and get the clips and post the clips, and then ask your video guy to cut this and cut it at this moment and get the video. By the end of the day, at the time of the shows, you're like, wait, when do I write? I didn't even have a moment to write.
Right. It's
bad.
It is. You have to do so much more. But on the flip side, we don't have to deal with all these people who say no because of this.
Right.
You know, they're not great at their job for the most part, right? I mean, what's their success rate? 10% on the stuff they pick?
Well, they've been pushing
Much lower than that, I think.
Yeah, it's so low. Literally.
And it always was.
Yeah.
And the industry's been pushing youth for 50 years.
Yeah.
And even though the country keeps saying we don't care about youth.
Yeah.
No, and young people like older people. They like to watch older guys. It's fascinating to them. Is people who have gravel in their voice and who have been through some shit.
Yeah.
Young people are just, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I loved guys that were like, I mean, we used to watch Fish was like a #1 show. From
Fish?
Did you ever watch Barney Miller?
No, Barney Miller was great.
Barney
Yeah.
Miller was a beautiful show.
He's a cop.
And Abe Vigoda, you know, this is
Vigoda,
perfect
yeah.
for us.
Sal Tessio.
Sal Tessio had a sitcom that he was the lead of.
Yes.
When he was like 68.
It's true.
And I was a kid. I was like 12, and I loved watching
Yeah.
Fish.
No, but I think he was actually like 48 and looked 68.
That's very possible.
Clemenza, you're going to shit your pants. Richard Castellano, Pete Clemenza, 28 years old in The Godfather.
No shit.
Get out of
Get
here.
out of
He's
here.
not 28, but he was like he was like 44. Look it up.
Yeah.
He was like in his 40s.
That's
It's
like
crazy.
It's like when you
Early
find
40s.
it's when you find out like that's the weird stuff when you find out like that just tells you how much of a period of extended youth we're living in. When you find out like Lafayette when he helped George Washington was like 17,
Yeah, yeah.
and Alexander the Great was like 21 when he conquered the world. You're like, what?
Yes, and also people lived much shorter time then, so they had to get it. They had
They had to get it done.
Get
yeah.
it going.
They had to get it going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the actor's name. Richard Castellano, I think. He's right there on the left, played by on the
Right.
bottom right.
Bottom right. Oh, yeah. yeah.
there he is.
Born. Now we got to do this
So he
horrible
shot it.
math.
They shot it in 71,
Yeah.
and he was born in. He was 55 when he died in 88. So what's 88 minus 55 minus 16?
We don't do good math.
Oh, the math is
He's
bad
literally
here.
in his 30s.
50. Yeah.
39.
In his 30s. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my age. That's
Yeah.
insane.
He's 39 here.
Pete Clemenza is the same age as I am right now.
That's right.
Yeah. People were
Fucking
just
bananas.
people were just generally more mature back then. And also it was like the style to act more mature.
And less healthy.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's a
it did.
fat,
You did
gross
reach for it.
dude.
You couldn't wait to grow up.
Yes.
You wanted to sound like a person. You wanted to look like a man.
Yeah.
You wanted a wallet and to get on the subway and catch a taxi.
Yeah.
Hey, cabbie, take me to blah blah. I used to watch movies and go like, you can just walk in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to be like I wanted to wear suits on
Yeah.
stage when I was a kid. I was like, I wanted to be a comedian in a suit like Lenny Bruce or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't cool by the time I got into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, now people do they want to seem younger
So
now.
it's almost reversed.
Yeah.
Socrates says that he warned us about it. He said at the end of democracy, the old start acting like the young start acting like the old, and then
That's
the next
a
thing that
sign.
comes is a dictator. So get ready, Joel Osteen's coming.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're all fucking going. It's gonna be a hardcore right wing dictator, and I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
You think it's going to be right wing?
Why do you think it's gonna be
dude,
right-wing?
religious right wing? Because the backlash there comes because they mean business.
Right.
They mobilize in silence. Well, the left's going out there like, yeah, man, will you hear what
Problem,
J.K. Rowling said? They're out there going like, shh, we're gonna gerrymander,
Right.
and then we're gonna cook these witches. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, they're quiet.
Yeah, but they would have done. I mean, it's been a long time they haven't done that.
They've been mobilizing.
Is that what
They
you
didn't go
think?
away.
How long? What's the long? I mean, how?
It's a long game. They're playing
Very
the long
long.
game.
Yeah, they're playing it very well.
I don't know. The problem with them is they believe what they're talking about.
They believe what they're talking about. Yeah,
I think that's a hindrance.
you think so?
Yeah, because you need a lot of artifice and fakery, and you also need to be very cynical to really take over a country. To really, you really need to be. You need to
True.
be
Good point.
Willie. What's his name? And Willie Stark. You know,
Right.
Loman.
Willie Loman. Yeah, you need
Death
to be
to
Willie
salesman.
Loman almost took it. Willie Stark. All the King's Men. That's what it's
John
called. Yeah.
Stark.
Yeah. But you don't think
You need to be a bullshitter.
You don't think they believe, like, you know,
Hitler was full of shit. Hitler would lie.
totally full of shit. Yeah.
You have to know what people. You have to have this above look of
Yeah.
like these what these fucking knuckleheads want.
Yeah.
And feed it to them. But if you really believe,
Yeah.
you're gonna get caught in all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna answer what you really.
God bless you.
Jeez.
Fucking movie star sneeze. Bottle it. Put it in a bottle.
That was a fake sneeze. That's
Yeah.
how good I am at acting. I'm auditioning for my next role. A guy with allergies. Wasn't even real.
Yeah, but they're hypocrites though. They don't. A lot of the guys at the top, I don't know if they fully believe it.
No,
They're-
there's plenty of guys that don't.
Yeah.
And they fuck everything that moves and they do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
The one that moves or the.
Fuck anything that moves.
So you're gonna leave your wife now? Like, what's the deal? What do you do from here now that you're?
I don't have it in me to leave her, but I'm hoping for a death. Any kind of I'm buying her flights, car rides. I'm encouraging her not to wear a
You just
seatbelt.
sending her to the store at 3 in the morning after you read the New York Post? Like,
It's a funny bit. Is like I would never kill my wife, but I do hope she does.
or you just keep putting her in dangerous situations?
Yeah, just hope. It's just hope. I would never do anything, but I do hope.
I got you a cruise. It's in September in the Caribbean.
Honey, meet me at 4 a.m. in the Bronx. No, don't take an Uber. We can't afford it.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Trust me. And you just sit there and cross your fingers.
No, my wife's a movie star. She's in
She's-
the movie.
She's in
Great.
the movie, plays his wife, and I think she's a fantastic.
Yeah.
She's very realist,
Yeah.
but she's got comic timing. This is the great combination of Sarah Tolomar as an actor. I just sort of muddled her name because I never.
Yeah.
Sarah Tolomar.
The great Salafrano.
Sarah Tolomar is that she's does not have the vanity of an actor. Actors just have this like I'm doing a comedy, so I'm talking like this. You know, the kind of actresses and. What do you call it? Ocean's 10, all the Ocean's movies. It's all good-looking people doing comedy like this. Now it's your turn. Now it's my turn. So it's just it makes me sick to my stomach.
Right.
And she's just this person. She's just talking. She's very real, but she has wicked comic timing. She's a stand-up, so she's got really good fucking. She knows where it goes, and she's some of the biggest laughs in the movie. It's just little lines from her.
I love that line where she goes, like, after the talk on the bed, and she goes, "Don't tell people things, and you shouldn't look through my." The way she said it was funny.
You shouldn't look at people's phones, and you shouldn't ask them things.
Yeah, you shouldn't
So
ask
you
them
shouldn't read
things.
people's emails, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
you
should
should-
read text and you
You shouldn't read text. Yeah,
It's funny because I saw that as a very sad line, but every time we've watched it, it's gotten a laugh.
Yeah.
it's funny.
There's a lot of lines that we didn't think were going to be funny.
Yeah,
Everyone could relate to that, I think. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
And she just,
relatable.
it's her. It's very Sarah, that line.
Right.
It's very like.
If you don't want to
understated.
hear it, stay the fuck out of,
Yeah,
you know.
and it's very funny to say, "Don't tell people things" is a funny thing to say. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's not talk about this and it'll be fine. But you wanted me to talk about it, now here it is.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
want a baby, and so
So she's very good, yes.
she's very good in it.
Yeah.
And
You
Joe,
liked it? You liked the film?
I did. To be honest with you, I really did enjoy the movie.
Thank Christ.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, heartfelt. Me personally, I could relate to it because of the anxiety. This could become like the Rudy or like the St. Elmo's Flyer or St. Elmo's
Flyer?
Flyer, yeah.
St. Elmo's Flyer. It's about
also-
a bunch of hockey players that got herpes.
This could be like, you know, for people with anxiety who watch this and go like, it's a little comforting. Like it's
Yeah.
funny. There's very funny moments. There's heartfelt moments. There's unintentionally funny moments, which are always good. It's like now when I watch Goodfellas, I watch it as a comedy. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think comedies are funny.
Yeah.
It's always just good movies that are funny, you know?
Yeah.
Goodfellas is as funny as it gets.
It's so funny. I mean, you don't think that the first watch, but then now when I watch it to laugh, and I laugh at Joe Pesci. He's like the funniest thing in the. It's just funny.
Yes.
And there's scenes in Casino that I have watched over and over again because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
When he pushes his head down in the car. So what you do is you really want to pound that cutlet.
Well, that and one of the great jokes ever we talk about all the time is when it's that tight shot on them and he goes, "Well, they're having a good time," and it cuts out and there's nobody near them and they're miserable and he goes, "So are we." It's like, that and she's flipping out and she goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and Pesci's going, "Okay,
Okay, be careful.
Take care, be careful."
Be careful. And he's got his Midwestern accent a little bit. Okay, be careful.
Okay.
One of the lines in the movie that barreled me over, where I really laughed, was the one where they think, and that was a funny moment, where where they all think that you and your wife have broken up just because she's not
thanks.
there. And then the line from the other room where he goes, Jeff
and Beth.
and he goes, don't let that cunt take a nickel.
That's right.
That scene got in all 3 screenings we did in Chicago, Boston, and New York. That line got buried because everyone was laughing at.
Yeah, they were laughing at "Aw," and then they didn't hear Tony.
Yeah. At home, when you're watching it, yeah, you can catch. They're both funny moments back to back. That was a funny scene.
Oh, thank you.
What at the end? Like at the end, it's one of those movies where, like at the end, you're like, "All right, so is everything okay?" It doesn't seem like it's okay.
No, it's not
Seems like
all okay.
Joe's accepted more things.
We can't spoil too much. They haven't seen it.
No. Well, that's general.
Well, when the bullet lands,
That's true, though. I gotta be clear.
in the wall, and then he finds he goes.
When you
to
and the Black
ballistics.
Lives Matter protester hug,
right? That's,
then that's
but
the-
yet there's an unease.
there's an unease.
because he's holding his hips back because he doesn't
Yeah.
want to get a boner.
It's like a first camp dance.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, it's not a resolution at the end.
Which is very Irish. It's just like, nothing's okay.
Oh,
let's-
it's never gonna work.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just gonna keep being more misery.
yeah.
Good old Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, hey,
Yeah.
we're just kind of parting ways. Nothing's ever resolved. Nobody knows how to push things down like the
Now,
Irish.
if you really try to make something happen in your family, like try to make a change, you end up making maybe a 1% difference, and
Yeah.
it wasn't. And the collateral damage is far too far worse.
That's kind of the movie in a
Yeah,
nutshell.
it is.
Yeah.
And yet, give it a try. Why not?
Yeah. And that's the comedy of it, that he goes in there with these big intentions.
Yeah.
I always love movies like that. One of my favorite movies is State of Grace, where do you remember that movie, Sean Penn?
Yeah, sure.
Where he's like, he goes in there thinking he could do this, but it all goes wrong. And he's like, it's because you believe in State of Grace, like a state of angels. Like, I believe I can go in there and do it, and leave Jack out of it. But it all goes. It's funny how when you come in with these intentions, you don't think about the consequence. Like when you cheat on your wife, you don't think about, oh fuck, her parents are gonna be mad at me. Her grandparents are gonna be mad at me.
That's not a good example. That's a terrible thing to do.
That's what Mark
But
DeMeo
there's
told
some
me.
things that you think are a good idea that are going to end up being a bad idea.
Yeah.
Well,
Like that
sometimes you think
switching
getting
the
it-
seats.
Yeah, it's cheating on your wife.
No, I like this. This is all right with me.
Yeah, it's one of the where you just don't think about the consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
A better example would be like if you decided you should tell your wife's sister what she said about her because you thought it would help somehow.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're
Right.
Like,
I
you guys
should've-
need to talk more, so I'm going to get in there and tell her what you said.
Right.
And then as everything goes.
And it produces a lot of comedy. It really produces
Sure.
that kind of. It's like a big bang for comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you go to the same therapist as I do.
Yeah.
Does he tell you? Because that's where he kept telling me to confront my parents. Does he tell you this?
He's the best. Shout out Alan. We
love you, Alan.
Alan is
I
the
thought
greatest.
Joe was going to say, does he talk about me?
Does he bring me up at all, or has he ever?
No, he
mentioned
just
me?
brought you up today. He said, "Oh, Joe's a good person to go talk to because he lives with anxiety like you."
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
He keeps telling me how much I've improved. You guys don't recognize it.
No,
but
you have
he
totally
talks about it a
improved.
lot.
Dude, like I said, you fucking got herpes because of anxiety. I mean, you've improved.
Yeah,
You've
doing great.
improved in every way. Comic, you're fucking. Louis C.K. directed a movie you starred in. I mean, what are you?
fucking Louis C.K.?
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, you're still questioning whether you've improved? I mean, you're in this fucking great
He's not
studio.
questioning it. He just wants us to recognize it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
his
right.
parents didn't. Because his
That's
parents
right.
didn't.
That's why he needs to hear from people.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm
right.
not your dad.
You wish the hell you were.
Neither was his dad.
Neither was his dad.
Is
But
the
does
problem.
he tell you? Say you got to confront these folks?
If your dad had to choose between you and a refill at the fridge of a Miller, what's
That
it going
was
to be?
the choice.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to fuck her again. I kind of want a beer. And then here's Joe.
I remember we were doing shows together at Mohegan Suns. Me and you bonded, and you told me all about your dad, and you said that your dad just doesn't say anything.
Yes.
And in the movie, that was a reflection of your dad, right?
Yeah. I
Well,
think we
I
nailed
am a
it, yeah.
dad, and I've met his father. And his father is awkward, and his father's not sure what to say. And also, Joe has gone to a different tribe of people. So he sounds different than he used to, and he quit drinking.
Right.
He quit drinking. They all drink.
Right.
And he moved to New York, and he's in show business, something that they can't touch with their
Just gay
minds,
shit.
with their experience.
They just say Joe's doing gay shit in New York.
Yeah. Well, what does your father do?
My father works for a hospital. He's like purchasing. He buys gowns.
A fucking man's job.
Yeah, he gets.
He buys like a gross of gowns for a hospital.
Yes, that's
and now
exactly
his
what it is.
son is like a comedian on the Tonight Show and on all these things. Not HBO, never.
Yeah, no.
But all these
matter
things.
anymore.
And so he doesn't know how to approach it. I think his parents just don't know what to say or how to approach it. It's not inside of there. And then the two of them. I've sort of seen both sides of it. That they're caught. He really wants the big payoff of all the work he's done to be them saying, "We're so proud of you," and they're like, "We don't know what to say exactly." Right. And so from their point of view, he's a little nuts, and from his point of view, they're shitty.
You may get it like on the deathbed. Like I kind of got it from my dad at the deathbed. Like when he was dying, he's like, "I'm proud of you." And it doesn't. It didn't feel as good as I thought it was gonna feel.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It's like now, my parents, every once in a while, they'll say they know because I've brought it up a little bit and confronted them, not in the way we do in the movie, but in real life, and going, I wish you had said. And so then they'll text something like, "Good job, and proud of you, awesome." And I'm like this, no,
you don't want to hear that.
Fucking weird, because it's been too long. It's been 40 years. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But my dad, he'll write something nice on it. I think he's just, it's hard for him. And that's the real thing. In real life, I think recognizing that your problems come from your parents, it's learned behavior, upbringing, and then accepting it, minus the confrontation.
Accepting it rather than like trying to destroy it and go back and get retribution.
Right.
That's nuts.
Right.
But accepting it, and maybe part of that is telling them I feel this way.
Right.
Like I remember seeing not a documentary. It was a weird biopic of Michael Landon. Remember Michael Landon?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Michael Landon.
painter.
What's that?
The painter. I'm thinking Michelangelo.
Did you really just make that, or was that a joke?
That was a joke.
You were going for the joke. You saw no reaction. Then you tried to switch.
be
It wasn't a
sincere.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty
There's
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Yes.
But Michael Lando.
If you
starts to
weren't
sound
around
like Mike-
comedians,
That's
you might have been able to get away with that. But that was you tried to back. It was like you saw traffic in the tunnel and you were trying to back
That's
out.
right.
Like I should have taken the bridge.
That's right.
So Michael Landon's blowing
Michael
you.
Landon was a biopic about from the point of view of one of his sons. He had a few families, I think. Like he got married, had kids, and he'd be a great father to little kids. But then when they got old, it got complicated. He'd just leave the family and go start again. And so it's about his first son, like wanting his father to love him, and his father keeps running away to other families, and he's famous. And so it's a horribly torturous. It's like a TV movie about. And then towards the end, he's dying of cancer. His father's dying of cancer, and he comes in and he says, "Dad, I just want you to know that you were never a father to me, that you never made me feel like a son to you, and that there's a hole in my life because of what you did to me. And now that you're dying, I need you to say it." And Landon just looks tired because he's dying of cancer. And he goes, "Okay, kid, if that's what you need to say, then that's fine with me." He just goes, "Go ahead." So that's what your father says in the deathbed. Right. Like, "What do you need to hear now?" Because I didn't want to go to sleep for a long time.
I want to go die.
What is it? "Oh, I love you. I love you. I always loved you." Is that good? Did I do a good job? Good. Thank you very much.
It's kind of what it is. Yeah.
I think wanting something from your parent.
Yeah.
That's a complex. I think wanting your parent to be your parent is. The quality of your parents is who they are.
Yeah.
Who you grew up knowing. And I think when you're a kid, you want them to be your somebody who makes you feel safe and teach you the basics. But when you're a grown up, it's like they fucking did their jobs on some point. Like I hope my kids stay friends with me, but they don't want to hear what I think of anything, or and I tell them I'm proud of them. Right. But it's a weird. Also, your siblings, the families after adulthood. It's very strange because none of these people chose to be with each other. Right. And as a parent, you have to, it's shit rolls downhill. Your kids don't owe you anything. Right. It's what you owe them, and they don't want it. They don't want the things that you thought, I'm going to be there for them this way. They're like, no, that's not even close to what I want from you. Right. What do you want? I'm not, figure it out. Right. Guess.
Did your parents ever tell you they were proud of you? Like, Louie, we're proud of you.
My mom all the time.
We're proud of you, Louie.
Yeah.
One of them was from Mexico.
My mom.
Louie, we're so proud of you.
My father's Mexican. And he would say things like, first time I did Letterman, he called me, left on my machine, my answer machine at the time. He said, you hid very well how nervous you obviously were. And I like a darker tie on you.
Little criticism on top
That's
of it.
what he said.
my dad would do that.
Yeah, you could hardly tell that I was nervous. That's not nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an odd dude.
Yeah, Mexicans have an odd sense of humor too. They like chicken costumes, like big, like. Woo!
Well, that's on that's on the one show.
Yeah, but they do. I worked for a Latin network once, and they love that shit.
Yes, and the television is ridiculous in Mexico.
They do like.
But Mexicans have a very funny wry. They have a real wry sense of humor.
They do. They do
very dry sarcasm and.
It was explained to me once by someone I think who was sometimes they like to make jokes about you, and you don't know that they're making jokes about you.
Yeah, there's that. There's a lot of layers to the humor in Mexico.
Yeah,
it's pretty brutal.
So, Joe, how long did it take you to learn piano for this role?
Just a couple hours.
Yeah, piano's not that hard. Piano's
of course.
Yeah, you just
jazz piano's easy.
Yeah.
Like classical.
You look like the white guy in a jazz band too. You know, there's always like the black guys, and then the one of those guys, like nerdy. You know, and he just comes in.
Doing with it? What is that?
Those are nerds when you're growing up. They
you're doing this with you're trying to do that.
And then they also they always like crank their nose when you want to go out with me. One of those guys. Yeah. So he looks like that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
he does. He does.
I think we nailed it. I think I look like something.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Meryl Streep watched the movie. She said, "Oh my God, you play piano."
Yeah.
Did Meryl Streep watch the movie?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Blown
fucking
away.
nuts.
That's the sound from Meryl, huh?
Yeah.
By my performance.
Wow.
Blown away.
I mean, she's the
blown.
best.
Dude,
better than Meryl
that's.
Streep.
I mean, fuck
Right,
Louie,
she's
dude.
best.
Angelica Houston. But
I mean-
she's very good.
Dude, Meryl Streep. So Meryl Streep watched the fucking movie?
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, she watched an early cut.
Fuck,
I mean, I
dude.
don't know how much we want to talk about it, but
Fuck.
she's my
The other
girlfriend.
day, I-
No, I'm just kidding. No, she.
I thought
I-
Sebastian
I made it-
Maniscalco saying I was funny was the top of
Yeah.
it, but fucking Meryl Streep watched you act.
But the other day, I kept her anonymous, and you made fun of me. So this
Yeah, I
time I
know.
said it.
Yes, I'm completely
win
right
with you.
Well, we weren't on a podcast.
Yes, we were. That was at the Beacon.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't a podcast.
Joey,
It was recorded.
I applaud you.
Yeah.
Made a strong
All
choice.
right,
You went
plug
for
her
it.
name.
You're like, I'm going to tell the people about this fucking Meryl Streep shit.
I thanked her in the credits. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know Meryl a little bit. We're not like close friends or anything, but she's a very nice person, and she's a extremely intelligent woman in terms of film and writing.
She's the goat.
And I'm her favorite
knows
actor.
everything. And
She's Joe's favorite actor.
yes, that's right.
What did she say about the directing?
She actually
nada.
She the reason I asked her to watch it is because I had her watch a film I made once, and she gave me a very harsh criticism that was dead on, and it saved the movie. Was not good before I showed it to her, so I asked her to watch this one, and she loved Sarah and Bill Sheft. She said, "Why isn't that guy famous?"
Right.
About Bill Sheft, and that's his first movie and his last probably, but I mean, he's great. He's great in the movie, but yeah, she's just really super smart.
Now, Bobby Kelly's in the movie. Good friend of me,
Great.
good friend of Joe, good friend of you, obviously.
Love him to death.
Did you have to pat him down more? Like, how do you keep him dry?
Oh, the sweat.
Yeah.
There's no reason to keep him dry.
Let him
Okay to
sweat.
in
He's a
movie.
fat guy. He probably is sweating.
Well, he's heavy. Get a
He
little
looks like
sweat.
kind of looks like if Butterbean went to the library.
He's
'Cause
not
of the
gonna-
glasses?
You're worried about Meryl. He's going to hear this. He's going to be very upset.
I just feel like if I'm walking in the library, I go, "Oh, there's Butterbean. He's reading."
Bobby's very sensitive.
Do you know who Butterbean is?
I do know who Butterbean is.
Yeah. Okay, or King
It's
Kong
funny.
Bundy.
I'm just not laughing because he's my friend. I don't.
Well, he likes it.
not those so
No.
much.
He doesn't
No,
like
not
those
so
anymore?
much. I don't
What
think
is he,
probably
gay?
never. No, I don't think he ever loved it.
He
It's not
stole
fun
the
to be
show
made.
at the Beacon, at least. I
Yeah,
thought
they
he
love
was-
him.
He's the greatest guy.
The camera loves Robert Kelly,
He's the greatest.
and he is a guy who looks. When he's saying a tough guy thing like this, he looks like he's going to cry the whole time he's
Yes.
talking. There's nobody. I can't think of somebody like him in movies.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that he's got a territory that's all his.
He's got a lovable quality about him, like a lovable. He's so lovable. Some people are likable. He's lovable.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's got a magnetism too. Like you just want to hang on. I hang on his words.
Yep.
You know?
Dude, have you ever seen him do stand? Like, ever
Oh,
seen
one of my
someone
favorites.
kill?
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
just
he
crushes.
rips it.
I made a special with him for him that we went down to Florida and rented a place and shot a special that we're going to put on my website later in the year.
That's awesome. So look out for that too.
Yeah.
The movie's great. It's called Fourth of July, and we're after. It's not the 4th of July. Did you
That's
guys have
right.
plans to release it on the 4th?
Well, we want to release it over that weekend, and we did.
Yeah.
July 1st, it was a Friday or something. So, and
Yeah.
the 4th was a
was it all the fireworks you guys hoped for?
That's such a nice way to put it because 4th of July has fireworks.
It was a real.
And yes, it was. Thank you, Yannis.
Are you driving? Are you driving?
The movie's
Thank you.
it's a real sparkler.
Yeah.
This movie.
Yeah.
But we got to get some plugs in because this is a huge week for us.
You
Yes.
guys must have been-
Nobody's going to watch this far in, but
Yeah, can we
July
plug these
12th, which is Tuesday,
Yeah.
it's showing in like 70 theaters.
Go see it.
And for only the one night.
Yeah.
We did this last week. AMC Theaters gave us 50 theaters in one night, or 45, something like that. And only one show, 7:30. And I was like, what is that? But you just pack that one night.
Yeah.
And all the shows that we did sold out and rolled over into more shows. And they didn't have, and they had them in, like, we were in like 2 or 3 theaters in some theaters.
Yeah. Are you doing mostly promotion on the internet? Are you also doing like any gazettes, any like mainstream
Gazettes?
stuff? Yeah. I figured I'd go old school for that one.
Oh, Gazette.
You called the pot, you set the mood,
No,
babe.
you're right. Gazette.
We're hoping to make a lot of bread.
Yeah, I hope you guys really make some scratch on this, Shay.
We are in some gazettes and
Some gazettes.
cassettes.
And we're doing promotion.
That's what you
right
said
now.
at first, cassettes. No, this is it right here.
Yeah.
This podcast.
This podcast is it. That's
We've done very little, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
We
many
send
do you-
out YouTube videos, and you send out emails on my email list.
And Are You Garbage?
Are You Garbage? We did.
And I'm doing a lot of Insta stories.
We did Ari Shafir's podcast. I
Skeptic
enjoyed
Tank.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not just
You know what
looking
they say
like-
about Ari? You don't know who your friends are till Kobe dies.
Oh, you mean for him? Oh, yeah, that was his test.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
friend Greg Hahn. You know Greg Hahn?
Yeah, I watched some guy who I know really knows Ari well, and he was on a podcast talking about it, and he was like, and he kept saying, I don't really know Ari that well, you know, like I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've heard of him. I'm like, I think you guys are intimate friends. Yeah. Like I never, I told, and he's like, because I was telling him, and it's because he called me, and I don't know how he got my number, but it was pretty astonishing.
Yeah. That's when you know.
Yeah.
He looked at his phone. He was like, okay, nah, I figure. Okay, a few of those are surprising, some not.
So the movie is showing tomorrow. No, Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Oh, fuck,
July
I'm the
12th.
worst at this.
July 12th.
July 12th, Tuesday at 7:30 ish. And I mean, all of the Irvine Spectrum in Irvine, right next to the Irvine Improv, right there,
Right there.
Naples, somewhere in Naples. I'm just gonna give the cities because I don't know.
Can they get all the info from your
go to
website?
Louis
Only
CK.
right here. I decided that this is how I'm going to announce
This is
it.
the only way it's happening.
Atlanta, San Francisco, Albany, fucking San Diego, fucking Dayton, Portland, Oregon, fucking Fresno. Hartford, Nashville, Honolulu. You can see it in Honolulu.
Honolulu.
Yeah.
A lot of Irish families in
Houston.
Honolulu.
Elmira. Seattle, Portland again. Las Vegas. It's playing in Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Indianapolis,
Casinos.
Buffalo,
A lot of shitholes.
Greenville,
Yeah.
West Palm Beach, Birmingham, Burlington, Plattsburgh, Portland, Auburn, Philadelphia, Hartford, Cleveland, Richmond, Virginia, Tampa, Charlotte. I mean, all over the fucking place.
All over
Tulsa, Oklahoma,
I was saying,
Oklahoma
where's
City,
Tulsa? I was thinking, where's Tulsa? Look, there's a,
Farmingdale, New York.
and there's a couple places you read there that if people don't go out, it's like, what are you doing in Tulsa?
That's where they need it.
That's where you need it.
So here's the-
Cleveland.
yeah, if you go see, first of all, okay, if let's say you go see the latest movie that you just saw a trailer for last time you saw a movie, you already saw the movie, you saw the trailer, they told you the whole movie already. Or you can go see Thor and just sit there and just watch, let that wash over you. But this is a weird movie. This is a small, weird movie about real people, and there's some laughs in it, and the whole theater laughs at the same time. That's what we've experienced.
Yeah, if you're not
That's a fun thing to be in. It's fun to be in a theater full of people laughing at a movie, and that's what this movie does.
it's an incredible. That's the best way to see it
Yes.
live. It's
Yeah.
the best way to consume.
and it's not a algorithm movie. It's not a Netflix movie. It's not on Paramount Plus or any of these things. And you're not being told by the internet that you like it.
Right.
You need to go check it out. It's a weird. You may not. You may hate it.
I picture the people who are really going to love this movie are like, if you're young in college or high school or even, and you got a little brain. You got a little. You're attracted to the girl who you're taking on the date because you guys are a little like you bonded on like your love for some philosopher or some book. That big tits too. I picture her with big fucking tits.
Those are fun to come on. Your kids stay in school and come on tits.
Now we can cut this if you want to, but I gotta ask because I shot my special in Madison at Comedy on State. And they told me you were there.
I had a great time there,
and there was like some protests.
Yeah, there were.
Are you experiencing any of that bullshit with this?
No, not at all.
Good.
I haven't had that for a while now.
Good.
Yeah.
No,
we've had just great crowds, and we did it today. We were in at Cinema Village, where it's also playing. Cinema Village on 12th Street and University. It's also held over at the Lemley. Every screening has been like sold out, and when they roll over, and I'm just want to emphasize it's done very well. But at Cinema Village, there was we had a crowd there, and we went up in front of them, and we advertised I would be there. And we just took questions.
Yeah.
And it's just all goodwill.
Yeah.
It's all folks that are curious or excited.
It's mostly what you get, I'm sure.
That's mostly what there is in the whole wide world.
Right. Right.
It's true. Most people are like, oh, I don't know. You okay? How are you? I don't know. I don't know you.
Right.
99.9% of people are just like living their lives. They figure you're you, they're them, and get on with it.
Right.
And that's what I've mostly encountered. And I go towards that. I think a lot of people go towards that little pinhole, that dark pinhole of shit and anger that they hope that there's an answer in there.
Yeah.
And there's not. If that's your North Star, you're not going to get. That's what I like to say.
That's what people should do more of.
Yeah, go towards the love.
Go towards the light. Go towards the love. And that light is the 4th of July movie starring the great Joe List.
That's right.
Sarah Talamash, Bobby Kelly.
Yes.
Fucking Lynn Coppolis is in it.
Yes.
Louis C.K.
I'm in it.
as Alan, apparently.
Paula Plum and Robert Walsh are the two people you don't know.
Yes.
My parents.
Yes.
Tara Pacheco.
Tara Pacheco's great.
Everyone in it is really good.
Alan Havey.
Alan Havey's in there.
Yes.
Havey's so funny.
Yeah. The black moment, there's fun. That was
black
funny
moment?
too. The black moment in there. The black jokes.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
I don't want to give it away, but that was very
Let's just
funny.
make sure people think it's definitely racist.
Yeah, it's like totally racist.
by just bringing it up.
Yeah, I mean,
the black moment.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe the black moment.
What about the Chinese
The
moment?
Chinese moment was even crazier. Yeah. And then
Muslim jokes?
what you said about the Muzzies was really top notch. Yeah.
right? We're not afraid of them. That's right.
When you guys drew Muhammad and burned it, that was my favorite part of the movie.
But I think people are going to like it. Go to the theater, go to Fandango, or go to louisck.com because you can buy the tickets right there. It has everything.
Yeah, and find out where it's playing near you.
Yeah.
And if it's not playing near you, we fucking try. People get mad at me. They're like, hey, what the fuck? What's the deal? And I'm like, we're up against Thor, you asshole.
Right.
We're trying.
It's all over Canada right now, too. I don't know if you have any Canadian fans. Doesn't seem like you would.
No, there's some Canadians. Yeah. We can say definitely some Canadians.
It's all over Toronto, Ottawa, and Winnipeg.
All the big cities minus Montreal. Edmonton, Winnipeg, Calgary, Vancouver.
Oh, you got this. This is a movie that's best seen in the theater. This is a movie I would prefer.
That's
to
what
see
I
in the
think.
theater.
I want people to see it in the theater.
Go out and see it in the theater. Make a date night out of it with the date who's got the big tits and who likes,
Big fucking tits.
loves tits, loves Mozart,
So big.
but fucking massive rockets. Yeah,
Big tits with a
big.
big dick.
Oh, even better.
That's the best.
Oh, now we're
Big
talking.
cock.
Yeah, it's
Tit fucking her own tits with her own dick.
yeah, that's what we're talking. Yeah,
Yes.
You
Just
get
like the old
blown
days,
by
just
your-
like when I was a kid.
yeah, that's the way to see a
That's
movie.
right.
Congratulations to you, Joe. You're one of the greatest guys in the world.
Thanks, buddy.
You're one of the funniest guys in the world.
Thank you.
You were so good in this. It was like that's what the comics are saying, which is very
Gregory
funny.
Peck. That's what I kept seeing.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the thing going, it's fucking Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck.
Yeah, honestly. Gregory Peck had this, restrained.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What? And very, little moves. And that's what he is. Very uncomfortable, but he listens incredibly well to the other person.
Yeah.
I figured, okay, we're going to get through it with Joe. We're going to figure out how to, if you see a lot of editing in a movie, like a lot of cuts, sometimes it's because the lead actor stinks. And they kept having to get from one performance to the other. But I was amazed. Like, from the first day, I'm looking in the screen. I'm like, I got nothing to say to him. I would only talk to him because he would get insecure if I said nothing. So I would remind him once in a while, if I'm not saying anything to you, it's because
Can you tell me my anxieties get better? Does he ask you every day?
What I'm not
Has it
going
got
to
better?
do is like avoid you because it's, God, you stink, but I don't want to say it. So I'm just going to let the movie suck. Like, I'm not even going to help you a little bit. So if you're getting talked to by a director a lot, it's because not great.
Right.
Not great.
Right. Right.
I mean, there's sometimes you have an actor who's really good and you like to take them around a few spins, see what they can do.
Right.
But I stayed away from Joe. I had very little to say to him because he was an automatic. He was just there.
Right.
And then I had to work on everybody. I had a lot of work with other people.
Yeah,
not
if he
him.
wasn't, then you're up shit's creek. He's
There's
your
nothing.
star. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did this come about? I'm very curious. What was the evolution of this? What was the impetus for this movie? How did you guys just sitting around or what
We really wanted to write a movie. We really wanted to we both had a deep desire to get a movie made. And I figured I had one pop in me to make one with my own cash. I figured if we kept it simple enough, I could put my house up and get a line of credit, which is how I did it.
Wow.
Go into some debt and make it.
Can we
And-
stay here tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The
dude,
crash pad.
he fucking believes in you, dog. He fucking mortgaged his house.
My feeling with debt with betting money is that it's acceptable as long as you can accept a total loss. That if you need to expect that you're not going to see a dime back. And so I gamed it out. If I don't make the money back, then I just hit the road for a few years and make it back slowly.
Right.
And don't do it again.
Right.
If I can do that, I decided I can do this once. I can make a movie on my own dime at this stage of my career. This is my second time doing it. The last movie I made was also on my own dime.
Right.
So was Horace and Pete. And those both, the Horace and Pete turned a profit, the other one, the opposite. And so I figured I could just do it one more time.
That wasn't the movie's fault.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. The movie's never been seen.
Yeah.
But I had to buy it back. So it was like it was a lot of negative there financially. But so this one, I figured I got just enough I could do because I'd done a special the year before that did well, and I was about to do another special, and both of those made me enough to make a living and absorb. I know it's too much information, but
Right.
I knew I could absorb the debt.
No, it's good for people to know.
But if the movie makes its money back,
yeah.
I don't need to make a profit on it. For me, if I just make the money back and get back to zero, I'll do that again. I'll continue to go down that much for a movie as long as I can keep doing it. Because to me, I prefer doing it this way. I prefer the pressure of my own financial risk and possible loss to the pressure of other people's financial risk and how that interprets itself into... put the big dame in it with a big pits.
yeah.
And where's the funny? And why doesn't he fall in a pie with on his face? And all that shit that where's the big stars? And the shit that, it's too long or it's too short or whatever. That guy, those were back in the 50s, they talk like that.
But
like Barton Fink.
it seems like
that's
what we're
right.
doing now. How much did you pay Joe?
I mean, he's a bit of a partner in the movie because we wrote it together.
Right,
So
right,
I'm the
okay.
senior partner and I'm the financier.
Okay.
So
We
how much
were-
did Joe pay you? Actually, we should ask.
Yeah, well, I paid for the movie, so I get first money out, and then I
Right.
get like the chunk. But then what's left for the artists is we split that at 50-50. We're 50-50 partners in that terms.
That's awesome. Yeah, the movie has no big Hollywood stars, but they're all very good. Everyone is good. There's not one person who's not good.
Everybody's
in the movie.
solid in the
Yeah.
movie, and some people are stellar in moments, and some throughout. And we were really. I'm not gonna say we got lucky with the cast. I think we were smart with the cast. I think we cast it well. Gail Keller, great casting director, cast it. Also cast my series. But Joe and I sat down and wrote this equal partners. It was very. I've never
Just
been
like when you tour.
Yes, just like when we tour.
I get it. You
Yeah,
guys,
that's right.
I get it, dude.
45 minutes each.
Dude,
That's
I
right.
get
He
it.
closed. Sometimes I close. Yeah, whatever.
I get it, man.
But
way to
truly,
make this happen.
we
Siegfried and Roy. It's more the show. That's the
right.
guy. You don't know which one's big. Nobody's
That's
bigger
right.
than the. Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. This whole thing is incredible that you did it in this era. That's incredible. This is sort of like a.
Oh, it was an error, all right. Hi, folks.
Well, just in this era of like Marvel and like,
Yeah.
it's great to see a heartfelt independent movie that's being released this way in theaters that you can go see live in your shitty town.
That's right.
Where there's not a lot to do. And if
Tuesday,
I'm
July
sorry, but
2nd,
let's
July
be honest.
12th,
Yeah.
July 12th.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect
Tuesday.
metaphor. There was one screen, our distributor guy called and said, we have one showing on July 12th, and the same night, Thor has 20 screenings. It's 20 to 1. Thor to
20 to
4th
1.
of
They got
July.
us. Yeah.
Right.
But so we're the only one that's not that. If you go to see a movie and you don't like Thor, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Unless you go, well, there's this one. What is that shit?
Yeah.
Who is it? Oh, it's that guy. All right. I don't know.
It's great to watch. It was great to watch a movie that, like, to emphasize that was kind of real. That was kind of like it's been a while. We're so inundated with like the Marvel stuff and big budget and you know, big budget shows that are kind of sagas. It was nice to watch a movie where you're going like, I'm that guy. That's my mom, my aunt. Yeah, I know that. That's a scenario I've been in. This feels like I'm there at a family gathering. I could feel how this family relates to each other. It's funny when the way they greeted when they walked in, not to give things away. You're like, oh, that was a great choice, by the way. At the beginning when he first gets there, that was one of those like subtly hilarious things. Where he's like, hey, and then he like does the. Am I giving too much away?
No, that's all right.
When he walks back and then he sees like there's someone coming that way, and he's like, I guess I'll go. He was like it was like a waiter showing up to work at like a catering hall. It was there's so much smart stuff like that. This is one of those movies without a doubt that is a multiple watcher. You can watch this more than once.
Man. Yeah, I hope so.
This is one of those that you could, you know, you watch it more than once, you'd be like, I missed that. That's in it because it's got heart in it. And then usually the things with heart in it, there are those things that you miss because there's so much going on.
Well, and also when a movie makes you have feelings, you go, I can put that movie on and feel that again.
Yeah,
it's interesting. You know,
that's a great point. Yeah,
you know, rather than movies that are about technique, which is cool in its own to watch, I want to see how they did that again.
Yeah,
but if you can, like, I remember Todd Glass. You know Todd Glass?
Of course, yeah.
Todd Glass says that what he does, it's a big therapy for him. He puts on movies that make him cry, and he gets on a treadmill. And he walks fast on a treadmill and just sobs, like loud sobbing at whatever Rudy or whatever fucking, you know, terms of endearment when she dies, you know.
There's so many people who suffer from anxiety. There's so many people who suffer. It's like one of the most common. I suffer from it, a panic disorder. It's just, so that's why, you know, particularly connected to it. I'm sure other people who suffer from anxiety, if you're anyone, it's the movie for you. But like, if you're someone who suffers from anxiety or panic attacks or any of that, or has any issues with their family, or finds out that their issues are from their family, which is all of us.
Well, anxiety
which is everybody.
The only thing that is as terrifying as true imminent danger. Like, it's as scary as if someone was really trying to kill you. It's that bad, but nobody thinks it's true.
Yeah.
And you have to pretend you're okay all the time.
Yeah, it's
right?
the worst. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's terrible.
It's the
like
worst.
the old joke I did about panic attacks about, so you just think you're going to die. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And instead of being dead, I'm sad and embarrassed at the end, which is just a joke from my act from 7 years ago. Yeah. But that is what it's like. I didn't know you were a panic guy. We could have been talking about this whole time. You seem like such a cool customer.
I mean, dude, I quit comedy over it. I was having panic attacks when I would try to go on stage. Yeah, this has been something.
I thought you quit because I was praying to God that you would quit.
That was part of it.
So weird.
That was the puppet behind the curtain I didn't see. That was really why it happened.
The way you made him quit was by giving him anxiety. God gave him anxiety on your test.
What about the Waking Up app? Sam Harris, who has a cameo. You ever use it?
I use ASMR videos.
Of like
with pretty girls making
girls going
whispering, just going, and then they do these pretend pulls like this. It just gives me this calm feeling, and then no, it's just
the Waking Up app is better than Alan.
No, you can't beat that.
It's done more for me than anything else.
Try ASMR with the girls,
but I'm healed. I'm telling you, I'm better than you.
And
you're telling me your shitty system that's not working as well.
You don't have anxiety at all anymore?
Zero.
Zero?
You could bring my ex-girlfriend out here and shoot her in the face, and that would be just totally fine. That didn't really
seem like a great result.
That makes sense, but none.
So you totally cured. You're a psychopath now.
Yeah. Nothing bothers me.
Zero feelings.
Totally good.
Yeah. Well, I was going through a tough time when I watched the movie. Like, I've recently had a panic attack and stuff like that. And I was watching the movie. I was having almost like a panic attack. I was watching it while I was having an anxiety attack, which was awesome, and I loved it. Wow. And then I watched it again with Jesse, and I saw some things I missed. So there you go.
Yeah, you watched half of it.
Half of it, but that was just, I watched the whole thing. I saw it to the end.
But no, I
saw it to the end, to the drive. Now, it was in Maine. Do you think that drive scene should have been a little longer?
That's what somebody else made that. Bill Sheff said that. He's like, it's the shortest drive compilation ever.
Yeah, that drive to Maine.
It used to be longer. It was like I kept cutting and cutting it.
But people got it. It's not like you're like, wait, how did he get to Maine?
He couldn't do that in 3 seconds. Fuck you. It would take at least 45 seconds.
But anyways, I do have anxiety, but now I can acknowledge that it's just an appearance in consciousness.
Yeah. Also, the thing in the movie that
Say that again. What is it? What is it again?
It's just
It's
an
an
appearance
appearance?
in consciousness. We are consciousness, and then you let go of yourself, the ego, and you see your just consciousness is where all your thoughts and physical feelings are, and visuals. It's all in the same place.
Wow.
And a thought is just the same as you looking at me right now.
I don't see consciousness. I see two headliners sharing a bill, going on tour around the world. That's what I see. I see two equal attractions.
That's gonna be someday.
Filling the seats. Yeah.
Someday, Louie will be like 80 and come out and be doing
That's
shitty
right.
jokes.
Yeah.
Like, he'll walk like his
Come on,
shoes
people
are
will be
tied
like,
together.
I'll be like, hey, Joe used to open for me, you know. Like, no, he didn't. There's no way.
You do so many things, right? Film is obviously. How much do you love film in comparison to comedy? How much do you want to do film as much as you do comedy?
Well, comedy you can do every night, all the time, and it feels a little bit like it's for younger in life. Like this, I mean, although George Burns toured till he was in his 90s, so I emphasize it now because I can still get out there and do it at the level I'm proud of. You know,
Grammy winning.
so
Did you like that?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's nice. I
It's nice,
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
It's
I liked
weird to have a Grammy award-winning comedian
Yeah,
here
In this apartment.
in this
I am
apartment.
here.
It's 100 degrees in here,
yeah.
and this place is a fucking shithole. Let's not mince words.
It's not that bad.
If you haven't gone to the bathroom yet, there's
I
no
have-
mirror
in my
in there.
pants. I have a few
Yeah.
times.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I was a kid.
Yeah.
Shits all the time.
But that's why I like stand up. I like the immediacy of it, and also because I'm still able to do it at my age, you know. But movies, I love them so much. There's a lot. They're hard. It's harder work. Like it's getting up in the 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's endurance. Like it's so. But so's a tour. You know, if you're on tour, you're doing show after show, city after city. You go like, how I can't even see the end of this. And the thing that's hard about both of them, but stand up particularly, is that you need to go on stage, and for 1 hour, you need to be completely invested in what you're doing for 1 full hour without dropping it for a second. You can't, when you're headlining a comedy show at some point, go, fuck anyway. Like, you can't really do that.
Right.
You have to be like this. Even if your thing isn't intensity, you have to be very present for a full hour. And sometimes when you're on the road, you know, when it's like 4 o'clock and you're like, I don't want to do this. Like, you have a show in 4 hours and this time starts melting. That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know, and when you're in it, it's exciting, but the day after night of it is really hard.
Yeah.
And movies, putting a movie together, conceiving it, writing it is really fun, and then starting to, when you cast somebody and go, he's perfect, got the
It's
perfect
like
guy.
a puzzle. It's like a puzzle.
Yes, and a lot of things you go, I would have never seen that guy. He just added a dimension to the movie that we didn't have in a script, and that's what you look for. You don't look for people to realize what you wrote. You look for people to add take it from 2-dimensional literal to 3 or 4 or whatever.
And is it? Do you have a vision in your mind of what it is, or it's like when you see it, you're going like, "Oh, that's what you mean
A
by
little of both. It's
taking,"
like
yeah.
you have to be able to do both, I think.
Yeah.
And then getting when you start shooting, it's just there's days where it's just like you are going like this as I'm watching the monitor. That's why I love doing this one, because I haven't directed something for so long that I'm not in. I'm in 2 scenes and we shot them on the first day.
Yeah.
So the whole time I was just gross, unshowered, and just watching the monitor. And I would just people used to laugh when they watched me, because I'm watching Joe and I'm just like, I'm pointing at stuff I want him to do and he can't see. you know?
Right.
And it's so exciting to watch the shit go down and know we nailed that one. And to know you're taking care of somebody and you're giving him, you know, you're protecting him. And, but you get, like, we got to Lake George where we're shooting it. We're there for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that.
2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks. And I mean, 2 weeks of nonstop every day, 6 a.m. till whatever, till sundown. And I had this script. I'm like, I'm shooting this much. And I would tear a page every time we shot it. Because it was like putting X's on the wall of a prison. There's part of it that's like, I hate this.
Right. It's a lot of work.
It's just
Grunt
so
work,
hard.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you got to put every little piece together. And by end,
You edited
cut
it.
Yeah, I cut the movie.
You edit a lot of your own stuff. That is I used to edit the things we did. Those were like 5-minute things. I love it. It's such a fun thing. It's like a puzzle. It's like or creating music with the rhythm and stuff. But it takes a long time.
And it's funnest. It's like being a DJ or something. Like you're finding little, and like I remember Paul Thomas Anderson said, that Magnolia was like a revolver in his head, like the album Revolver. And in my head, this one, because I'd heard him say that, I thought not Abbey Road, Rubber Soul. It felt like that a little bit to me, but just it gives you start looking for a pace in editing, and sometimes you find moments that didn't exist. You find a way to do some trickery where you go, "Fuck, I did," and that's very satisfying. But it's incredibly tedious and takes a huge amount of focus.
Right.
So it's hard. I'd like to just lay down in a tub where my joints don't get stiff.
Yeah.
And just drink ice cream through a tube. And just wait for the ticker to stop. That would be my favorite of the. I would take that over stand-up or movies because life is hard. It's hard to get up and be upright. And
how big of an influence is Woody?
He really made me want to be a filmmaker.
Yeah,
more than anybody. I thought and his movies were so approachable. The comedies I grew up with, like Take the Money and Run and Bananas. The moment where I thought, there's moments in the movies where you go like, I can't believe he did that. Like, because there's laughs that are obvious. There's a scene in Bananas where he becomes a dictator of another country. It's a crazy plot for anybody that doesn't know it. But he comes back to America and he's going to court for a crime. And it was a very common trope back then, somebody covering their face because the press is all over him.
Right.
And he's covering his face, and then the whole press is walking, and then he walks by this really ugly woman who's just standing there, and he takes the hat and he just puts it over her face. I remember that was the moment where I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
If I think like this guy and he got to be doing this, I could do that someday.
That's right. That's cool to hear, like the moment of inspiration when somebody's like, you're like, oh, I love it like this guy. I want to do what he does.
And then watching him develop to Hannah and her sisters and to husbands and wives, crimes and misdemeanors. Yeah. I mean, Annie Hall, Manhattan. Yeah. These are all masterpieces, and it's crazy that they belong to one person. That's absolutely nuts.
It's nuts, actually.
Yep.
It's nuts, the sheer volume. I've always said, like, there's some Woody Allen movies that I don't think were his better ones, but there's so many things in there that I liked. Yes. I've never seen one movie. I even think like the Blue Scorpion, what was it called? The Jade Scorpion. Remember that one with Dan Aykroyd? Curse of Jade Scorpion. I was like, it wasn't. But there was still things that are brilliant there. You go like fucking Woody Allen. There's just brilliant. And then Melinda and Melinda, you're going like, how did a guy who's in his 70s at the time write that for like women's psychology? It's insane. It's insane.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Muy bueno.
Yeah. Did you ever picture yourself being a lead man in a movie with that face?
Boy, that got hurtful towards the end. The back half of that question is a little hurtful.
Well, I would say the same thing about me. I mean, my eyes, I'm a cyclops. I'm not really leading man material.
No, you're like a teddy bear.
I look like John Stamos if he was missing a chromosome. I get it.
That's a good point.
I'm not leading man. I mean, you're not typical leading man look.
No, I guess not. But this
was this part of your dream?
Steve Buscemi, he's got some leading man roles.
Good point.
Yeah, everybody you bring up is going to be insulted now.
yeah. No, I'm going. Good point. Yeah, he's a weird looking guy who did good.
Yeah. No, he's fantastic. No, I mean, I didn't think I would be the lead in the movie, but
did you know you had these acting chops like that? Like,
well, I'm playing myself.
Comics are talking about that.
It's very hard to play yourself.
Dude, it's hard to play. Yeah, and it's like
not for me.
You're not just playing but you're like.
It's not about who you're playing. It's not like it's not about the stretch between you and the character. It's just the actual ability to be listening to someone who's talking,
right? Believable,
and hearing and reacting to them.
Like that,
like they're really saying it. That's what you're.
That
able
pivotal
to do
scene, you were so good in that pivotal scene. Pivotal scene, like where you blow up.
Yeah,
that was like it was real. It was like
it was
the
real.
acting. Was that? What do you mean it was real?
Well, I mean the feelings of holding things in for a long time.
That's what you call good acting.
Yeah,
It was that was like a lightning in a bottle, kind of like we can't fuck this up. And I knew that was the thing, was because it was close to him. I had to be careful. Like that day, he wasn't allowed. Nobody was allowed to talk to him because these all our friends, Nick DiPaolo and Robbie and all these guys. So I told everybody, don't talk to Joe today. And I locked him in a room and told him to just be, because I didn't want him to be like hanging out with DiPaolo and laughing and then telling him "fuck you" 10 minutes later. So I just wanted him to get to his real feelings. And
cool little fucking move there.
Yeah, I've done that with the people a few times. A few tricks I've picked up. One of them is, Yeah, sometimes you should isolate actors and tell them to stop like hanging out with the crew and the cast during certain days. And it isn't so they can concentrate on the moment. It's just so that they at least start with nothing. At least that there's nothing clanging around in their heads while they're supposed to be in the moment. Because there's a lot of times we have a lot of fun on the set, and then it's like, all right, okay, you ready? Fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a little, there's traffic in your head.
Right.
The other thing I do sometimes is I'll tell one actor to do something different, and I don't tell the other actor. And it's a way to get a real reaction out of somebody. You tell them, I tell them, do this time, or interrupt them and say this, and you watch the guy go, what the fuck are you doing? Which is a good reaction.
Yeah, that makes sense. Little tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so much your acting, it was what Louie did.
I feel like I would have done okay either way.
Yeah. It was kind of like the strings.
Also, I'm an in-touch guy, and I like to listen, and I feel connected to emotions.
Yeah. That'd be funny if you...
But no, it was Louie.
This is great for every reason you think it was great. Just like I said, unknown cast, acting's great, a movie with heart during this time. It's a lot. You can go with a date, go see it, go check it out right now. And thank you guys for coming on this.
Yeah, this was not our first choice. This is like our fourth choice, but everyone was busy.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
a lot of people said
yeah.
no.
I just want to throw some praise back at you because I was at the Improv back in, when was that? That's when we met.
Yes, that was
back
a month or 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah. And so I saw you. I'd never heard of you. I had no idea you existed.
Yeah.
It made no traction in my world.
That makes sense.
I've been doing
sounds about right.
I've been doing stand-up for nearly 35 years.
Yeah.
I'm an aficionado. I study stand-up.
Yeah.
You never penetrated my awareness, not one time.
Yeah. I'm great at marketing.
And I know about
I just learned from basketball.
Yeah, that's about what you do. But
I know about comedians that neither of you know about because I study it. You're nothing to me. Yeah. And so I'm at the Improv, and I'm in the back of the room, and I'm waiting to go on, and it's just everybody at the Improv in LA does like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, but it's a nice club. I like it there.
Yeah.
And then you came on, and I just was blown away. You were just so goddamn funny. First of all, you annihilated. It was a dead crowd, and you're just pushing, and every bit is funny and original.
Thank you.
And I was laughing. I was pounding my table laughing really hard. Like it actually did for me what comedy does for an audience. Like it lifted me up, made me feel good.
Oh, thanks.
And goddamn smart and hilarious. And then I asked my friends,
Clip that shit immediately.
Who is this guy?
That's going to be the only clip.
Yeah,
from the episode.
that'll be the entirety of the podcast.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. And then I would ask my friends, who's this guy Yannis Pappas? And like, he's been around forever. I'm like, oh, that must have just been on. I was in a weird mood, and it was a weird.
Cut that part.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Anyway, very high, great stuff. Loved it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. When one of the greats says you're funny, it's really why you play the game.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah, he's never done it, but it's implied.
He put you in a movie, man. He took you on the road. Yeah.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
of course. No, it's the best. I mean, comics, comics opinion means more.
Yeah.
You know what I love
you
about
have no fans, but that's okay. Because now Louie knows.
Now
you.
Louie knows what
right.
it is. Yeah, it means, yeah. You know what's great about stand-up especially?
Also, let me just say, this experience of being praised by me is not a testament of you guys' talent as much as it is that I've come down so low.
Right, you're down. I get. Well,
I've gone so low that
right. Yeah.
you guys are my peers now.
We caught you at a good time. Yeah.
That's right.
A couple
But anyway,
years ago,
go
you
on.
wouldn't be here. Yeah.
Never.
The thing about stand-ups that I love, it's similar to boxers.
Yeah.
In that, like, you could be at the same gym. Like, any boxer could be at the same gym with, like, Cotto or Mayweather, whoever you want to put as, like a big famous. And it's just like, they're all boxers. It's kind of like there's the same thing. Like whenever, like you're a famous guy, right?
Yeah.
But when I hang out with you or like even
We're just two comics.
yeah, it's
Well,
weird.
it is true. If you ever work out in a boxing gym, you ever go to?
Not really,
If
no.
you ever go, you
I
feel.
wanted to lie and say yeah, but
Well, you feel self-conscious. You feel douchey, and you're putting on gloves, and you're like, "Come on!" And they're all real guys with six-packs, fighting for their lives.
Right.
But you look at guys, and they look at you, but everyone's like, "Oh, try it, give it a try." We're all just trying because it's a hard thing to do, and everybody respects anybody who tries it. Everybody does. So stand-up has that to some degree. There's a lot of competition and douchey attitudes. But for the most part, yeah, you just, good job.
Yeah.
Fuck, but none of us, because you're always failing a little at it.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about it, and that they were advocating for like the exclusivity of like, hey, if you're a new comic, you shouldn't even go approach like a Louie or a Chris. And I was going, no, I want it. I was like, they're like, isn't it awkward? And I was like, yeah, and that's what makes it great.
Yeah,
so it makes it great when like a first-year comic comes to Louie and goes, hey, if you need an opener, or can you take my tape, or did you watch my stuff? And just watching that's where the good stuff.
No, whenever young comics, like really young comics, come up and say like, hey, I just got started. I live in Brooklyn. That's just. I always figure like I want to make it a little easier for them. Oh, that's nice. Good luck. But I also don't give them much because they're not ready for like. What am I going to say? Well, come on, move into my house. Just do my next show for me.
I'm looking for a lead role in my new movie.
You give it the appropriate. No, but when I started in Boston, there was a legendary scene of great comics. Like every comedian was great. And you'd watch a show, and it would be like, and a lot of the more showcases, like 5, 8 guys, they were all amazing, like just rock star level. And that was the bar that was set. And I was 18, and I was just obsessed with comedy. So I would go to every night. I'd go to like a bunch of clubs and just watch I was never put on. And I would actually go to the host of the show and say, "Can I go on?" And he's like, "You're not on the lineup." And I go, "Please." And sometimes they'd put me on. And the owner of the club that I did that at, this Comedy Connection, he pulled me aside and he said, you got to stop coming here. That's not how it works here. And I would ask comics about comedy. I'd try to make friends with all of them. And I found out one of them, this guy, Bob Batcheldor, he's from Kentucky, who had moved to Boston. He sat me down one night at a club, and he said, are you on to the show tonight? And I said, no. He said, why are you here? I said, I just want to watch the show. And he said, a lot of guys have been talking about you, and there was a big talk about you amongst like all the comics last night. And I said, I'll talk to him because I like you. So it's too much. You're a nice kid, but it's like really a lot, and you're annoying people. And you got to like stop. If you're not on a show, don't come in. And I was so humiliated. I never could have possibly felt worse. Right. And I told Chris Rock this story recently as like an embarrassing story about my past. And he's like, you don't get it. That's why you're a great comic. Like those guys, they're looking down on you, but where are they now? Like that's what it takes is like an obsessive level. So you're right. It is great. It's awkward. You go up and just talk. Hey, how did you come up with your comedy? Yeah. What? Yeah. Of course you should do that. Yes. If you're a young comic, you should be intrusive and obsessive and in everybody's face and everybody should hate you in that generation. But they're all going to die. You're going to be the next guy. When they die, you'll be, you'll be the next guy. Yeah, and I also I think it keeps the big guys humble. It does. I love young humble because you're amongst you're in the trenches again. That's right. And some guy's coming up to you. You're approachable. It's not like Meryl Streep, you know? No. And if you love comedy for real, you want to hear this. Is like Miles Davis's career had longevity because he kept finding new guys to play with, new great players. Everybody that I'm 54. Most people my age. You look like shit. I know. Awful. I'm joking. Yeah. Most people my age are in houses outside of Hollywood, and they're just sort of doing one thing a year. But keeping young people in your life keeps you vital. You know, Joe. When did you start comedy? What year? 2000. 2000, so 15 years after me. He's a whole other generation, maybe 2 generations back from me. Yeah. And because I made friends with him and he toured with me, we toured together. Coin flip every night. Coin flip, like who doesn't really make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. But because of that, I've got a new movie, and I'm very grateful to him. This is not like a shot I gave Joe in my mind. I was not coming up with movie ideas, and I didn't really have, and I didn't. The fight upstream to get back to work was really hard, and to have a full partner and somebody else's vision to consider that wasn't just me, and it wasn't me putting myself out there, which is a scary thing to do at this stage. Having Joe, I keep thanking him for it.
Yeah.
I'm really so proud of this movie.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's so much of it came from him, and he threw in with me, which is not an easy thing to do.
What do you mean it's a
So-
scary thing for you at this stage? Just
Well,
'cause
it's
of,
a hard get, because of blah blah
'Cause of
blah.
all the shit.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
da 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 deep blah blah. It's not. It's like every step is difficult,
Right.
which is I accept. I accept it.
right.
And I'm the one who wants to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's decided to keep doing
Maybe
it.
it's time to be that kid, like the kid though, that just shows up and go, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Fuck
I
it.
feel a little like that
Yeah,
kid.
you feel like that again,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, get out of here. What are you doing? Well, I just want to try. Can I try it? Me, come on, can I? Dude, get the fuck out of here. You're not supposed to be here anymore. No, so I do have an uphill battle again, and that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. And also, this is a weird time in the culture.
Yeah.
To be, I don't know how people handle right now being a successful mainstream show business person,
Why?
because it's such a bizarre culture to
Right.
be a success in. I think, what is it? What do you have to do to stay in there right now? If you're in the pocket,
Right.
if you're the guy way up there, then what do you do every day to not lose it? You know what I mean? That's much harder, I think.
Right.
Or hard in the opposite way. So I feel free on this in a sense. In other
Right.
words,
It's kind of an interesting, thing to be. You're kind of that kid again
yeah,
that you were back
at
then.
54.
At
Yeah.
54, and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The difference is that you see death coming a lot sooner, and your body is getting tired. And there are days where you go, "Fuck this," but you have a wisdom that you didn't have as a kid.
Yeah. Well, you could be you can't say this now, but you're one of the best comics ever. Nobody you're so funny. It's like a laugh. When you watch a Louie special, it's like you laugh for other people you watch, you're like, that's great. You go like, oh, that was great. You watch your special, like you're doing both those things. You go, that was great, but you're actually fucking laughing.
Oh, good.
Me and
Thanks.
Jesse used to watch back in the day and fucking crack up and
I
talk
think it's
about your
something
bits.
we're born with.
Yeah, that's Joe's the same way. Joe's new special's out. It's great. Like you're just one of the funniest guys. It's what it
thank
is.
you. Well, now this
and
is
also
my
now
bit
you're a great
where-
actor. It's not fair. And you got
Yeah.
fucking the greatest face in the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was trying to do a bit. Now it's weird. But thank you.
I'm just trying to
This
make it
year's
earn.
material available on YouTube.
You're very comfortable with emotions. Then I'm being very sincere at this
Oh,
moment.
thank you. Yeah, this,
You're a very funny guy.
2000-ish, right?
I said around the same time. Yeah. I mean, I quit for a couple years after that, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're same generation.
Yeah.
I text you. It's like I should be better friends with you.
Yeah, why don't we hang out?
We
I
always
didn't know you
say
had
that
such
too every time.
anxiety.
When
Well,
we
you live
smoke
far
cig-
away.
Yeah, but we smoked a cigar. We had a great time. Every time we've hung out, we have a
know.
great time. You're my kind of guy. You're understated. You got a good heart. You're never gonna make it big in this business like
Yes.
me. It's kind of like
Let's
we should hang
smoke,
more.
But you live in fucking Westchester. Move
It's
to Queens.
fucking bring the
dog.
wife out there. What are you doing? Getting drunk with Sean Patton? Those days are over.
No, I haven't.
Come hang out with me. We'll bring fucking Louie. He's got nobody wants to hang out with him
Happy to
anymore.
go up there. Can we get Bobby too? Bobby, Virgie.
Bobby, we'll get
Virgie
him.
Like me? I always get a
We'll
weird
hide the
vibe.
food from Bobby. Let's do it.
Does Paul like me?
Paul, who doesn't like Joe List?
A lot of people in the comments section. I can tell you that right now. The
down
comment
there.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
right
Section
down
of
there.
YouTube.
Fucking weak. Tuck.
It doesn't
Fucking-
matter how many people. I'm like everyone's favorite comedian's favorite comedian. They don't buy it. Louie can go on. This guy, they're like, fuck Ari, fuck this guy. DePaulo.
They do it for
Bobby,
attention. They do it for attention.
all
Well, half
these
of them
guys.
are doing
They
it for
hate me.
attention.
Norm
yeah.
Macdonald, they're like, something's up. This guy's paying Norm off. I'm like, what do you want me to do? They hate me.
It's
I'm telling you, it's
they
the
do it
face,
for
the
attention. You
teeth.
can't read the comments. Sometimes I think the negativity is like because it makes you more visible in the
Yeah, it's
comment.
fun.
Yeah,
Right.
it's fun too to
It's
shit on
just
someone.
bar talk. It's
Yeah.
just at the bar.
Yeah.
But there's
It's
this
just that
thing.
it's on print and it feels bad, but
Yeah.
it's just the same. Fuck that guy. And then if you go like, really, why fuck that guy? Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I actually kind of like
I don't
him.
know,
Yeah.
just fuck him. I don't know. For right now, fuck him.
I think it's my face. I think I've told you this story before. I was opening for Dane, 2004, Dane Cook, and this is when Dane was about to really break, but was selling out every club show. And this is in Boston, where he broke first.
Yeah.
So he was about to become like stratospheric, and every show sold, adding shows, and I was opening, and I was killing. I was 22, and a guy stood. This is in Boston. He was stage left, and he stood up in the middle of my set, and he goes, "This guy's a fucking nerd." In the middle of my set, and I went, "What the hell?" And then nobody said anything, and he sat down. And I just went, "That was crazy," or whatever. And I kept doing a set, and I was doing well. And he stood up a second time, and he goes, "Hey, seriously, he's a fucking nerd." and I think people don't like my face.
That's
I'm
exactly
doing
it.
pretty
I think it's a
well,
little bit about
and
that.
No,
people
but that's
like me.
also Boston, because
He was very upset that no one was.
That's a
mad.
huge comedic quality, though. That's like a huge, like
no, it is. It's a
perennial
great-
underdog,
yes.
kind of flawed. Yeah, you have a comedic face. You do.
Thank
You
you.
look like a cartoon character. A
The
little bit.
things that are a hindrance in real life are asset in stand up.
Yeah, it's like a superhero. It's super.
Yeah, it's like you can't be a
power.
good-looking comic that easily. Not a good one.
No.
Not usually, except for you.
Except for me.
But no, I remember Seinfeld came to the Paradise in Boston once, and he headlined there. And he's doing his jokes, and some guy stood up. It was very similar. The guy stood up in the middle of the show, and he went to leave, and it was very like kind of obvious. And Jerry went like, "Am I?" Because he took his jacket and everything. Jerry goes, "Is there something wrong?" And the guy goes, "Knowledge." Like he heard Jerry the way he talks, and he just said, "Knowledge."
You can't get everybody.
Yeah,
No.
you can't get everyone.
You
I
can't
don't
get
know.
everybody.
But I think people think I'm paying out Louie and Norm and
You're a great comedian.
Apollo.
You're a very funny comedian.
That's
Burr,
not what I
Burr.
hear. I think you're in your. That's not what I
Yes,
hear.
of course.
I look at. I hear the comments too. People who watch my special, they go, "Oh, yours, Joe List." I mean, I've never heard that.
Well,
You-
I mean, more
what do you
people
blow?
do like me than don't, but the people that don't,
There's
Yeah,
so-
but where are you?
Yeah,
These
what are you- who are
people
you
are
listening
in
to?
the comments.
Yeah,
Literally, like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
reading
some
insane.
are direct messages.
Yeah, dude, think about it like this. think about it like this. This is the way I thought about it, and this changed it for me. Would you ever comment on a video, let alone direct message something
He
you
leaves
watched?
Yelp reviews,
Are you that guy?
and
then you
he
deserve
reads,
it.
and then he reads the comments on his Yelp reviews.
Then you deserve it.
No, that's not exactly true. That's an exaggeration. I left a Google review once
Okay.
in Madison, Wisconsin.
So you deserve it.
because a cab did not show up, and then I get notifications saying
Oh,
so
I
and
see,
so
okay.
found your review helpful. But no, I don't comment on YouTube.
No.
The type of person that would do that. Think about the type of person that that would do
Yeah,
that.
that's a sick-
Put a
sick person.
the positive ones are great, but like to put a negative, like if I don't like something, I don't waste more time telling
No,
the person.
no.
Yeah, I'm out of there.
You want to get. You're poking. You
Yeah.
want to get noticed.
You want attention. You want to
Yeah.
get noticed. You're trolling. You're doing it
It's
on
got
purpose.
nothing to do with the person you're talking about.
No, I mean, and really, you feel that. You feel that.
No, and you forget it. It's not like
Strong.
you post it and then sit there and go,
Yeah.
Well, that's
You
what.
just move on to something else and do it like just 30 times a minute.
Yeah.
No, I've had this
Um,
discussion before because we do a movie. Ronan Hirschberg and I do a movie podcast, so I'll critique art, and then people will write to me and be like, "Your movie fucking sucks. How do you like it?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't email Robert Redford to be like, you're pretty flat in this movie.
Right.
I did it on a YouTube
Right.
show. He's not hearing it.
Right.
I don't email people.
Right. It's a lot of effort. If you're doing that, it doesn't say a lot about the success of your life. If you're putting in that much effort to personally message, I've gotten some message, and sometimes I just go, "Hey man, are you okay?" And then watching their different response, going and I go, "Hey man, you shouldn't be. I don't want you to be upset. Maybe you shouldn't just be watching it."
Yeah.
And that you can see them being confused by it because I'm
Yeah.
like, what I'm saying is true. I'm going like, "Hey, maybe you should. I don't want to hurt you."
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know I was doing this to you. Are
There
you
was
okay?
a club I worked at in Milwaukee.
Stop bragging.
It was the Comedy Cafe, and the owner was a Samoan guy named JD, and he rode Harley bikes and had a shotgun in his office that he put on the desk when he was paying you. But I was doing a show there once, headlining for a weekend, and I wasn't famous, but it was packed because the club was really good. And I used to sit by the door and watch them go in. I used to like to watch my audience go in, and I could do that. They didn't know who I am. And so there was a nice family of nice people going in. And JD saw them, and I watched him do this. He went over and he said, "Hey, folks, how'd you end up at the club tonight?" And they said, "Oh, well, we came here before, and we had a nice time." And he goes, "Who did you see?" And they said, "Jeff Dunham." And he goes, "Oh, okay. So have you seen Louie?" And they go, "Oh, no." He goes, "Do you know anything about him?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "He's a tough act. He's a tough act. It's not an easy night. It's pretty rough. A lot of bad words, a lot of sexual content." And they were like, "Oh." And he goes, "Listen, I don't want you to have a bad time. Our partners and I own a steakhouse. Let me send you there and feed you dinner. You come back here another time." This is a guy who's turning business away
crazy.
and buying them dinner.
Wow.
because he knows it's no good having people say,
Right.
I didn't have a good time there. You don't just tell them, get in there and you fucking watch what we show you, you fucking loser.
Right.
This thing of like, we're doing the comedy and
Right.
fuck you. That's not the approach.
Right.
But yeah, that's how he felt. It's like, don't have them there if they're not going to have a good time.
Right.
I was very grateful that he did that.
It's actually pretty like a smart.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty smart. Because you're going like, hey, you know, because some people are like, yeah, I'm into that. I know what I'm getting into. Some people you're going like, hey, come on, another. If I owned a business, that would be my approach. That would be a smart
especially
thing.
with comedy because it's very
So subjective.
divisive.
Oh.
I have people in my audience sometimes these days that are looking at me like this, like with this sort of cynical, and I'm doing stuff that's offensive, and I see people get offended in my shows that I'm headlining. And I used to think at first, like, why the fuck did you come here?
Right.
But then now I realize, no, I'm grateful that they came.
Right.
They're not into. They certainly know who I am,
Right.
and they're not sure they're into it, but they came to check it out.
Right.
I appreciate that. And to me, it's like if you sit in the audience of a show, if you pay money and sit in the audience, you actually have a vote in my act. You actually will affect my act. If I see your face and you're going like this, it's going to, even in micro ways, it's going to make me change how I'm going to, not what I say, it's not going to make me choose different, but I'm going to try to reach you because you're there.
You'll be considering them in the crafting of it.
Yes. Yeah. And if there's silence after bits, again, I'm not going to give up on the bit.
Right.
That's not how I operate. I'm going to keep trying to get past that or use the silence as a place to get to the next funny thing or whatever. But you're going to affect my act. If you're on Twitter or on YouTube and you're reacting to a article about my show by somebody who wrote it, who's paid to upset you, and you write, fuck that guy, you don't get a vote. Not only do you not get a vote, I'm not going to hear it. I think it's actually for comedians to go online and look for that stuff by uninvested voices. It's contaminating the gland in your body that hears the audience that came, the ones that you're supposed to be working for. Some of them, again, not perfect converts, because it's no good to just go on stage in front of people that are like, yeah, you're the man. You're going to just be arrested in development. But if there's people there and you're like trying to, I want you to like this, they're going to affect that gland. So you shouldn't actually, it's irresponsible to be listening to people who aren't in the fucking place, who don't go to comedy. They're not your kind of, not only are they not your fan, they're not comedy fans. They're not fans of anything. They're not even a whole person. A person on Twitter is not an entire personality. Right. It's just a weird part of somebody who's just going, me, 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 me. And if you're hearing it, that's vanity. That you want not only your fans to like you, and not only your fellow comedians to like you, want every single kind of person. And if you're
unrealistic.
It's unrealistic and it's vain. It's to be disappointed by one voice. It's hard enough on stage. You're killing, and there's that one guy who's like this, and you're like, motherfucker, and he'll ruin the show for you. Yeah, that's bad enough. But if you're actually out looking, searching your name on Twitter and Google and looking at YouTube, comments, you're looking for, you're fucking yourself.
That was so well said.
Does he like me?
Paul Verzi has never said one bad thing about you. You've asked me that like 4 times too.
Really?
Throughout the years. Yeah, is Paul Verzi like? Yeah, I've never. I'm trying to think of anyone who's ever said a bad thing about you. I can't think of one. I
have all their Twitter handles.
Yeah, I can't think of someone who's ever said anything
hanging above my bed.
bad. There's nothing bad about you. The only person who's angry at you is the girl whose shoes you shit in.
No, she was
and broke her
okay.
table.
She wasn't that
so even
upset.
she likes you. So it's like, who doesn't like you?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Are we ever going to stop doing this podcast?
I mean, I tried so many times to end it,
I
but
heard
it's
you
so
said
good.
that.
Yeah,
I was
trying to
but then
land
there was a
it.
gust of wind.
Yeah,
that I
I'm
had
having too good of a time.
No, I looked 7:05. We were wrapping up, and I was like, nice. I'll get home. The Sox game.
Yeah,
Sox,
this podcast is over. Go see the movie. Go check out Joe's special. Tell friends about the movie. Text them about the movie after you see it. See it live in the theater. And I'm just happy you guys came down.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's what we have is word of mouth. So spread the word.
Spread the fucking word like
July
COVID.
12, 7:30, all over the country.
Small business shout outs. You know we love it. Freaking cold. They're all over the studio. Stop drinking plastic waters. It's bad for your health to drink plastic. It's bad for the environment. The solution is here. The water is water, dog. I mean, it's water. Okay? So it's great in the aluminum. It stays cold. It stays freaking cold. FreakingColdSpringwater.com. Go order a bunch of cases like I do for your house. Stay away from the harmful chemicals of plastics, etc. It's all made in the USA as well. So no recycled aluminum from China. This is all USA. Support John Mikas. We love having you, man. We love you being the official sponsor of our show for water. And I drink it in my home. I drink it here. All the guests drink it. Louis C.K. was just drinking one. Okay, of course, BrooklynCannery.com. My new favorite sodas. I don't drink sodas at all. I don't drink soda. I drink BrooklynCannery.com. When I'm in the mood for a soda, thank God I found these guys. 15% off with the code Yannis Pappas, all one word. Natural ingredients, no added sugars, low in calories, delicious flavors, and they're prebiotic. We're going to get a case for here because you still haven't had one.
I want one.
You still haven't tried one.
I want what's the amaretto one?
Oh, cola amaretto.
That's what I want.
Yeah, it tastes like a cola, like a good cola.
I'm put a little rum in there.
Oh, you can put a rum in there, dude. You got my favorite, of course, like I've always said, is that key lime jalapeno with a little. It's got a spice kick at the end.
That's interesting.
It's interesting and it's original. It's delicious. And then the root beer is incredible. You can make those Moscow mules with those, and all the flavors are good. So check it out. BrooklynCannery.com. If you're getting eye surgery, I may just do this. Can we make it into a Patreon episode where I go blind?
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, because I just look OCNYI.com. If you got to get LASIK in the New York area, go see Dr. Ragusa in Astoria, Queens. Or you can call him at 646-543-9474. Just tell him Longdays or Yannis sent you, and you will get 10% off your LASIK. So if you're in the New York area, or drive from wherever you are and get a cheap, get LASIK from a fan. Make a video of it. I'll repost it. Longshore Coffee. Again, I'm so happy I found some of these guys. I love Longshore Coffee. I just drink it. It's what I drink. It's incredible. It's really good. They're out of Providence. It's a small batch coffee roastery out of Providence, Rhode Island, and they ship nationwide. They offer free delivery in Long Island if you're in Rhode Island. Sorry, Rhode Island, not Long Island. And you get 15% off if you use the promo code FUMES, longshorecoffee.com. If you're a coffee drinker, just start drinking Longshore Coffee because it's better than what you're drinking. Trust me. Don't do the Keurig shit. Get rid of that. That's bad for you. That hot plastic's going to give you cancer. So stop that shit. Go to longshorecoffee.com, order your coffee, get a drip machine, and become a man and stop being a goddamn little girl. NateLinder.com for all your social media management needs, okay? He's helping home service companies, e-commerce companies, B2B companies, comedians, post-production companies. Follow him on Instagram, Nate_Linder, or NateLinder.com. Chris Minetti. Now, this is interesting. So Chris told us last week that he had a little situation. He got into a little problem. He said he got raided by the feds. They took over $1 million in cash from him. He said apparently a customer of mine was laundering money. Big surprise. He goes, wonder how they heard of me. I got excited and thought maybe they're listening to the show. I'm like, wow, the FBI likes the show. I'm losing my voice. But he goes, what actually happened? You can Google the story. He says they took $175 million. Two girls. I got to find out more about this story. Two chicks from South Jersey. Fucking these Wawa bitches. They had a $175 million check cashing scheme. So the feds took all Chris Benet's cash. So he has to testify against these bitches. He said, if you give me back my millions, I'll testify against my leader, Yannis Pappas. We wish you well, Chris Minetti. Chris Minetti, you know, as always, you need to get your check cashed, or if you're running a check cashing scheme, 215-750-3730. Chris will cash your check. Philly, South Jersey area. It's so funny. 305 PLP Media Services. These 305 PLP Media Services. These guys will make a video for you, for your company, for your porn, for whatever it is, your wedding, whatever it is, professional, discreet, whatever it is. Go to 305 PLP Media Services. You can email them at info@305plp.com. Check them out on Vimeo. And you can call them at 786-548-2274. So if you're in the South Florida area, have those guys make your video or do your post production. Of course, exclusiveautoshipping.com. My man Jared down there in San Antonio. If you're moving your car anywhere in the country, go get your free quote from exclusiveautoshipping.com. They've been operating since 2016. They're killing it. Been in the business over 8 years. He's a loyal listener, and I'm just really, he's one of my favorites. Jared, I appreciate you so much. So there's discounts for student and military as well.
Hang on, I'm supposed to. Oh, yeah, I missed one. Aaron, leave.
For the free .us, all things Hawaii and music. Go find out about musicians, bands, Hawaii. Go move down there and yell the N-word with Dog the Bounty Hunter.
It's been a long